ATMC TV's Game of the Week is brought to you by J.P. Russ & Son Grading and Clearing, Community Finance of South Carolina, Grissetown Longwood Fire and Rescue's Haunted Trail, The Doghouse Grill 2, Strand Termite and Pest Control, the Brunswick Beacon, and ATMC.
Welcome to your ATMC TV Game of the Week. If you couldn't tell, we got a real treat for you here tonight. It is youth football night from MH Rourke Stadium in Charlotte. The West Brunswick High School Trojans will take on the visiting Hoggard Vikings. These teams are tied for first place atop the Mid-Eastern Conference standings. Each team has a 2-0 record. Jay, this Hoggard team that comes into Charlotte tonight isn't just one of the best football teams in the area. This is one of the best 4A teams in the state.
Yeah, they're ranked number 11 this week, Sam, and with good reason. When you got a quarterback like Josh Jones, a 6'3", 210 senior, he's completed 74 of 112 passes this year, 1,152 yards, and 14 touchdowns. So they can do a lot of damage up top. It's got some great receivers in Chris Tootle, Trey Hauser, and Anthony Scavone. And if they want to run the ball, they got a 1-2 tandem in Kenneth Marshall and Lloyd Giroux combined for nearly 700 yards and 8 scores. Offensively, they are a juggernaut. They put points up, 36.3 points per game.
And Jay, how does this West Brunswick defense that's played really well the last 2 weeks stop or slow down this offensive attack of the Vikings?
That's probably what Coach Williamson and staff have been thinking about for a week. I think what you have to try to do is really play tough in the defensive secondary. And if that's the case, you're going to see a lot of Jalen Jones-Bay this evening. 5'11", 155-pound senior, quarterback and wide receiver. He's caught a bunch of passes in the past few weeks, but he's also an excellent defender with 2 interceptions on the year. He'll get some help from DeAndre Claraday and Khalil Bland. And the other way to defend is to put pressure on the quarterback. And if West is able to put pressure on Jones tonight, it'll probably be through Big Tim Sellers or maybe Javion McCray, the 6'2", 260-pound sophomore who's had a quiet season so far, but maybe tonight is the night where he steps it up.
Like I said, we got a real treat for you here tonight. Stay with us for the opening kickoff. Let's see what the youngins have to say about tonight's game.
Let's get excited for some Trojan football.
And the Brunswick County Youth Football League players are bobbing up and down with the Trojans down in the end zone near the field house. And there's a little hitch in the giddy up there. The Trojans look like they're going to run out, but they're going to wait on the mighty Hoggard Vikings, who entered tonight's contest 6-0 to take on the 2-4 Trojans. But Jay, most importantly, those 2 West Brunswick wins were in conference play, and it has the Trojans sitting atop the Mid-Eastern Conference.
I know, it's conferences gives you a whole new lease on life. You know, Sam, tonight it's kind of like Charlotte's version of ESPN's Game Day, you know, with these kids here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and don't tell me that the Trojans don't get a kick out of this.
And Jay, here come the future Trojans, and tonight's Trojans are right behind them. We're just moments away from opening kickoff. Boy, Jay, it's a real treat here tonight. How much fun is it to watch these young kids who want to wear that green and white uniform one day run out with the team on Friday night?
It's everything. I mean, this is what youth sports and high school sports are all about, and you're seeing it all right here tonight at Rourke Stadium, right here in Charlotte. Who would have guessed that, right? But it's really a pleasant and pleasing sight for sure. It sets the stage for what we hope is a real good battle of the unbeatens in the conference between West and Hoggard.
And Jay, it makes me especially proud watching the young kids run out, my nephew, Asher Dagnies, is a member of the senior Buccaneers team, and he was one of the ones leading the charge out there, bursting through the banner tonight. So way to go, Ash, man.
Way to go, man. And I couldn't help but look down there when the West players were around the kids. Big Monty Stanley was out front.
Did he swallow one?
He could have, and nobody would have known. I mean, it's amazing.
A war of attrition.
How big Stanley is. And listen, if you're a West Brunswick fan, let's hope Big Monty plays real big tonight. They got a challenge ahead of them with depending on which rag you look at, number 7, number 11. And the entire state of North Carolina at 4A. This is a really, really, really good football team.
And Jay, Hoggard's the barometer in this area. If Hoggard is where this West Brunswick program hopes to be one day as far as success, consistency. Opening kickoff fielded at the 20-yard line by Hoggard's number 3, C.J. Pipkin. And Pipkin is brought down across the Vikings' 35-yard line, down at about the 36 or 37, where the Hoggard will take over 1st and 10. It is at the 37.
Well, the guy to watch for Hoggard is their quarterback, and he is an excellent one, 6'3", 210-pound senior Josh Jones. As we said in the pregame, he's thrown for 1,152 yards already this year, 14 touchdowns. He's very accurate, too, completes 67% of his passes. So he's the real deal. Let's see what West can do with Jones tonight.
Well, Jay, we got a flag before a play is run. It looks like Hoggard was whistled for a false start penalty, so no offensive play, and Hoggard's already faced with a 1st and 15. Very uncharacteristic, Jay. One thing you can count on from this Hoggard team is they are always very sound, very disciplined, well coached, don't make a ton of mental mistakes, and you know, that helps explain their number 7 ranking in North Carolina.
And Craig Underwood, one of the real good high school coaches in this game.
That's a handoff up the middle. Good defense by the Trojans. Bottle up the Hoggard ball carrier. It was hard to see who made the carry there. That was number 4, Kenneth Marshall, with the gain up to the 35-yard line for a gain of 3.
Yeah, Marshall averages about 7.5 yards per carry. He scored 3 touchdowns, gaining 365 yards. But the big guy, Monty Stanley, who's really helped solidify this defense as he has moved more towards the middle of that line, was in on that stop.
Jones in the shotgun formation. He fakes a wide receiver screen, lost one deep, and just over the outstretched arms of the intended receiver, number 5, Trey Hauser. So, Jay, good start on defense for West Brunswick. They forced this Hoggard team into a 3rd and 12 situation. This is what you want to see, a lot of 3rd and longs for the opposing offense.
But you saw a little bit that time of Jones. He just missed a little out in front of Hauser, but Hauser had separated himself from the defensive coverage. Can't do that with these guys. Too dangerous, too good.
Jones gets the snap. He rolls out to his right. He fires a missile to the far sideline. It falls incomplete. That pass was intended for Pipkin. Boy, Jay Jones has got a cannon on him, but great defense there. Who was that on the far sideline?
Jalen Jones-Bay, the kid that we talked about in the pregame that's really been on a good streak here lately. The last couple of games, he's caught a bunch of passes and a couple of interceptions this year. He's got a fumble recovery, so he's had a real solid season, and that entire secondary is going to have to play up tonight.
Jay, another thing you can always count on with a Hoggard team is good specialists.
Will Morton is their punter. He's averaging nearly 37 yards per punt.
High end-over-end punt, bounces down at the 28-yard line and rolls about 15 to 20 yards all the way inside the West Brunswick 15. It's down at the 11-yard line where West Brunswick will take over 1st and 10.
DeAndre Claraday back that time to return, and I think DeAndre probably made a pretty good decision in letting that bounce. And even though they don't start with very good field position, they do start with field possession. Okay, so nice smart decision that time by the young sophomore Claraday, who I know the coaching staff is extremely high on, Sam, and I think this kid's got a lot of of upside and a real bright future.
Tall sweep to number 20, Damani Daniels on the first offensive play for West Brunswick, and he is met. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there, but a nice tackle there by the Vikings. He's going to set up a second, and we'll call it 10 for the Trojans from their own 12-yard line. Looked like Daniels had some running room there, and Tapia met him at the line of scrimmage. Daniels may have even lost a yard there for the Trojans. A tall sweep to the right side. Hoggard spills it out, and Daniels once again brought down at the line of scrimmage. So 2 carries for Daniels. 1 toss sweep to the left, 1 toss to the right, and it yields maybe a yard, maybe a loss of 1 yard for West Brunswick. So the Trojans are going to have a 3rd and 12 situation from their own 11-yard line here in the early stages of your ATMC TV Game of the Week.
Well, number 90, Brennan Litzinger, 6'2", 195-pound sophomore, among several Viking defenders in on that stop, but it does set up a 3rd and passing situation and not a real good place on the field to throw.
Oh, and McDowell's got the snap. All receivers are covered. McDowell takes off. He's got enough for the first down and more. Heady play by senior quarterback Owen McDowell, who gets away from the Hoggard pressure and scampers across the 25 to the 30-yard line for a West Brunswick first down.
You know, Owen's been on a pretty good roll here the past couple of games, accounting for 4 touchdowns, 2 passing, but 2 running. And we've commented many times this season that Owen can hurt you as much with his legs as he can with his arm. And you know, you put a nice, smart, good decision head on top of this kid, and you got a pretty good high school quarterback.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. McDowell fakes the handoff. He's got pressure. He lost it over to Russ Gore, who makes the catch, and Gore slides down. His knee was down at about the 34-yard line, so we'll give Gore 4 yards on the reception from McDowell.
Red Cromartie in on the stop for Hoggard, getting up a little slow after hitting Gore, and why not? Gore, 6 foot 215, one of the premier linebackers in all of New Hanover, Brunswick County football this year. 65 tackles on the season coming into tonight's game, and can show his offensive ability on that catch.
West with a 2nd and 6. That handoff is fumbled to Bethel. Jay, I believe Bethel might have hopped back on it, and after all that, it looks like West Brunswick gained a yard there.
Well, Bethel lucky that time because it wasn't a clean handoff and the ball bounced. And Sam, you know, footballs bounce all kinds of crazy ways, and luckily for West that time, it bounced right back up into Jakari, and he was able to fall on it, and they even managed to pick up a yard.
Boy, Jay, that's West Brunswick averted what would have been a disaster, fumbling the ball in its own territory and giving a potent Hoggard offense 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Well, one of the keys, of course, for West tonight is to not turn over the football against a big powerhouse like Hoggard.
That handoff goes to Khalil Bland around the right side. He's still on his feet, did an excellent job getting to the line of scrimmage, but he stopped there, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for the Trojans. No gain on the play by Bland.
Senior Mackenzie Frazier in on that stop. You know, for a second, it looked like Bland was lifting that ball up like he wanted to throw, right? But we haven't seen him do that this year, but wisely put it down and set up a punting situation for the Trojans.
McDowell gets the punt away. It's a big booming kick, angled perfectly to the sideline, and a beautiful job there by McDowell. It was fielded by Hoggard's C.J. Pipkin, but he couldn't run with it as he caught it going out of bounds. He's out at the 21-yard line. Big-time punt.
Don't know that you could draw it up any better than that, Sam. Well executed by Owen McDowell. He has handled the punting this year and has that rugby-style kick, if you will. That time really turned it over, and nice kick by Owen McDowell.
Also purchase a DVD for $10 per game, or for $50
gives Mr. Jones a chance to get things going from his 20-yard line.
That's going to be a handoff up the middle for the Vikings. Ball carrier is brought down by none other than number 44, Russ Gore. That was Hoggard's Kenneth Marshall on the carry for about 3 yards. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 for Hoggard.
Yeah, Marshall, again, part of that two-back tandem that run the football so well. Lloyd Giroux, the other back. Between them, they have 8 TDs and nearly 800 yards rushing.
Jones, an empty formation, 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Jones gets the shotgun snap, fires a slant over the middle. The pass is dropped. Defense on the play from number 21, DeAndre Clariday.
Anthony Tapia.
That pass was intended. It looks like that's number 8, Anthony Scavone. And Jay Scavone had a big game against Laney last week. 6 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown in that game. So West is going to have to be aware of where Scavone is on the field at all times.
Well, they get a number of fine receivers, Scavone being one of them. He's got 4 touchdown catches on the year, over 300 yards receiving.
3rd and 7 for the Vikings. Jones in the shotgun formation, looking for a receiver. He fires it deep. He's got a man, but he's overthrown. Nice job by this West Brunswick defense. Jay, we talked a lot about Jones in the intro before tonight's game. Jones is now 0 for 4, and Hoggard's had 2 possessions. West Brunswick has forced 2 3-and-outs.
They've done a pretty good job in these 2 possessions, and you're right, Josh Jones has not been able to connect yet. This is a kid that completes 67% of his throws, but so far here this evening has not been able to complete anything, and you do have to credit some of that to a pretty good defensive effort by the Trojans early on.
And Jay, if West Brunswick can field this punt in the air and not let it roll some 20 yards, they could get excellent field position here. That's a big-time punt, but Clariday's got room. A signal for a fair catch. He's wrapped up. Well, there's got a flag on the far side there. Was it a illegal fair catch signal of some sort?
Well, most fair catches are when you extend your arm up in the air in a wave. I'm not sure if you're like an umpire saying, safe.
Yeah, right.
I know Clariday wanted to be safe that time, but let's see what the officials do here.
Boy, Jay, Hoggard's Morton came into the game averaging 37 yards a punt. He's got a 54-yarder and a 46-yarder coming in this game, so that average is going up quickly.
He got all of that one. And there's the...
it was an illegal fair catch signal, which is a 5-yard penalty.
To benefit our Relay for Life team, plus Sam Hickman has donated 4 tickets to the ECU game, plus a parking pass against Bill Cosby's alma mater, the Temple Owls.
So the Trojans take over 1st and 10 from their own 25. That's McDowell on the read option play. He is met in the backfield. Looks like that was number 9, Christian Holler, the senior, in on that tackle. McDowell loses a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 11.
Yeah, Holler is the leading tackler for the Vikings with 41, 3 sacks. But the one that jumps out at you, Sam, statistically for Holler, he's got 14 tackles for loss this year. That tells we just make it 15 now. He gets great penetration from his defensive line position.
McDowell under center this time. He hands off inside to DeMonte Daniels, who is met in his backfield. So that's 3 carries for Daniels. He's lost yardage on each of those carries. And it might be insult to injury there for the Trojans, as that's in the vicinity of a holding flag.
And that's exactly the call. And that play sort of was doomed from Jump Street, Sam. It's so slow and developing. And I don't think you can give this Hoggard defensive front 4, front 7 that much time to make penetration. Big, strong, athletic kids, and they get off the ball real well. So far, at least on this series, they have very much won the battle line of scrimmage.
And Jay, interesting there, this Hoggard team declined the holding penalty, and why wouldn't you, quite frankly, with a 3rd and 12 coming up. West did convert 1 3rd down earlier as McDowell escaped pressure and ran for about 20 yards for a 1st down conversion.
Well, don't you know they'll be ready for McDowell running the football now,
watch the scramble. Boy, West Brunswick with
trips to the top, 2 receivers to the right. McDowell in the shotgun, looking for a receiver, rolls to his right. He fires one way downfield for Khalil Bland. He's got a man. It falls just shy. Boy, Jay, West Brunswick nearly hits a home run on the 3rd and 12 play. Nice throw by McDowell there as he was pressured, and that's going to bring up an obvious punting situation.
Yeah, Owen delivered a nice ball, a catchable ball to Bland, and I think if it weren't for some good defensive effort that time by Brandon Buer, Khalil Bland is still running and is going to get a touchdown. So nice defensive effort that time by Hoggard. Sets up the punting situation for West.
Rugby-style punt for McDowell. High end-over-end kick, and that flies out of bounds around the 45-yard line. It's going to go out of bounds somewhere near midfield. It is ruled out of bounds at the Hoggard 45-yard line. So a 32-yard punt for McDowell, and the Vikings are going to have their best starting field position of the night.
I was going to say, on that change of possession, Sam, Hoggard picked up 25 yards in field position. This is, again, a very dangerous team from anywhere on the field, but you certainly don't want to shrink the field and make it that much easier for the Vikings to score.
Josh Jones in the I formation. He hands off to number 5, Jadrian Chambers, who is met in the backfield. Was that 61 Timmy Sellers there on that tackle?
It looked like it. Gore was in on it, Bethel was in on it, and Big Tim was probably around it. So I'll tell you, defensively up front, at least in these first early series of tonight's game, West is more than handling their own.
Really nice job by this West Brunswick defense, keeping them in the game early. And of course, still a lot of time left, but you know, West hasn't mustered much on offense, but the defense is doing a really nice job containing a powerful attack. They read the throwback screen beautifully. Great job of defense. Looked like Jones rolled to the right, wanted to throw back toward us here, but West was all over it. Noah Johnson there on the coverage. He was all over, blanketed the Hoggard would-be receiver, and Jones just had to fire that one into the dirt to avoid a sack.
And all kinds of pressure that time, led by number 44, Russell Gore. Sets up a 3rd, call it 10. Another passing situation for one of the leading passers in the area, and has yet to complete one tonight. That's
Jones
not going to last.
Jones in the shotgun, and Jay, I believe that may push the Vikings even further back. It looked like maybe one of the wide receivers got a head start. We'll wait on the call from the official. It is going to be a procedure penalty, a false start penalty on the Hoggard Vikings, and what was a 3rd and 11 is now a 3rd and 16.
Probably not the cleanest start for Craig Underwood's squad here in the first quarter tonight compared to their earlier efforts this year, coming in here at 6-0.
Jones rifles a pass toward the right side. That pass is about 5 yards past the intended receiver, Anthony Scavone. DeAndre Clariday was all over Scavone there on the go route, and that's going to bring on the Hoggard punt team. 3 possessions, 3 3-and-outs.
Yeah, Clariday with good coverage that time, and again, just about all of Josh Jones' misses tonight, Sam, have been long. They're clearly looking not so much for possession passes, but they're going up top for the big score, and West has more than been able to defend against that so far here tonight. Boy, a special team play here would help quite a bit.
It's a high, short punt for Hoggard. It bounces down at the 32-yard line. It gets a West Brunswick bounce, rolls out of bounds at the 35. So all things considered, for possession that started at the Hoggard 45, West is going to take over just 20 yards past that at their own 35.
You take that every darn time, that's for sure. A lucky bounce that time. A couple of times here already in the first quarter, West Brunswick has been the recipient of good bounces of the football. The fumble that Bethel fouled on, and that time the punt that when it came down could have went a number of different directions. Luckily for West, it decided to go out of bounds.
Looking for a big play.
Jay, one player we haven't seen for West Brunswick early, which is Curious is number 9, Cason Medford. Haven't seen him in on a snap on offense yet. That's the I formation. Boy, that's a handoff to DeMonte Daniels, and he is met by Christian Holler, who delivers a nice blow and holds Daniels to no gain.
Yeah, Holler, Christian Holler. Nobody blocked him that time, and my guess is he doesn't need a whole lot of help.
Yeah, you might want to block that cat with 14, 15 tackles for loss on the year.
Yeah, so those statistics increase.
Jay, want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Tristan Williamson, who's with us here tonight, member of the varsity high school soccer team here at West Brunswick. Nice young man, excellent soccer player. I've covered a lot of their games here lately, and he's quite a talent on the soccer field.
I was talking to Tristan before the game, and everything you say is true. Saying this, if you got a daughter, he's the kind of guy you want her to bring home, right? Good soccer player, good student, wants to go to NC State next year, and he's got his picture down there inside the fence with all the other soccer players. How many of us have had our picture like that, Sam Hickman?
We won't hold his college choice against him.
Look at that, right there, Tristan. Second one from the left.
There you go. And we'll take this time not to take away Tristan's shine, but to thank J.P. Russ & Son for its sponsorship of tonight's contest. Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in your heavy equipment needs. Paving, grading, clearing, drainage, and much more. They'll also haul any material, even rock. Give J.P. Russ & Son a call at 754-6023. Trojans with a 2nd and 10 from their own 35. That handoff goes straight up the middle, across the line of scrimmage. That was Jakari Bethel on the carry. He gets to the 36-yard line, so once again, a 3rd and long situation coming up for the Trojans.
We talk a lot about Jakari's defensive accomplishments, and rightfully so, from his linebacker position, but he's also an outstanding running back. Well over 200 yards rushing this year for the 6'1", 190-pound senior. Great wrestler, and he's having a real solid senior football campaign.
3rd and 9 from the 36-yard line. McDowell in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers out to the left. He rolls out to his left, looking for someone to throw to. It's a one-on-one down the far sideline, and that is incomplete. Intended receiver, I believe, was that Naz Price. Air number 83 on the far sideline.
If it's 83, it is Nashawn Price, and that's a very difficult throw for any quarterback. A right-handed quarterback to roll left and throw. But Owen showed his arm strength that time, really got the ball down the field, just not able to do it too accurately.
McDowell once again with the rugby-style punt. That was a lot of pressure there, and very smartly fielded by Pipkin, who races up near midfield. So a nice job, you know, Hoggard, after a couple rugby-style punts, they send Pipkin there. He catches it in the air and gets a 15-yard return, and the Vikings are in business here with a drive that starts at midfield.
Yeah, and that all-important field position statistic very much in favor of the Hoggard Vikings here in the first quarter tonight. They've been inching up the field a little bit at a time, and this is, in fact, their best field position of the night, right smack dab on the 50-yard line. And Jones, you know, is very eager to connect for that first pass.
Boy, Jay, take your pick. Either 61, Timmy Sellers, or 32, Tyler Tate. Both of them jumped in the neutral zone there. Play is blown dead, and that's going to put the Vikings, across midfield to the Trojans' 45-yard line.
Well, no question, West was coming with pressure. Remember, we talked about in the pregame, the best pass defense sometimes is the pressure that you put on the quarterback. And Big Tim Sellers had the motor running that time. He was coming, but stepped just a second too soon.
Jones with a middle screen to Scavone. He's got a little running room, but a really nice tackle there. Clariday knocked down the referee and Scavone, and Scavone's going to be very close to a first down. I believe he's got it to the 40-yard line.
Well, nice play call by Hoggard. They've been going for the home run shot most of the night, but they shortened their pass route that time, and Jones delivered a strike, and you're right, Sam, an excellent tackle by the young sophomore Clarinet. Not only took down the ball carrier, the receiver, but took out the official at the same time.
It is going to be a first down for the Vikings. That's the first 10 minutes into this game. That's the first pass completion from Jones. And Jay, Hoggard did exact opposite. I thought they'd come out on this drive and try to establish the run game, but 2 plays so far, and they don't have a running back in the formation.
You dance with who you brung to the dance, Sam, and they throw the ball.
Russ Gore in hot pursuit of Jones, who's racing around the right side, got a lot of running room, and peppers out at about the 32-yard line for an 8-yard gain on first down.
So Josh Jones that time, I don't think that was a designed run, but I think he's got the green light, of course, to make that decision out there on the field, and made a wise one that time rather than try to force something that wasn't there. Used his legs to pick up 8 yards.
Jones gets the snap. He finds a wide open receiver who breaks a tackle and races across the goal line for a touchdown. That is a 31-yard touchdown strike from Josh Jones to C.J. Pipkin, who got this started with a 17-yard punt return. And with 1:40 left in the opening frame, it's Hoggard 6, West Brunswick 0.
And there you see the air attack of the Hoggard Vikings. 3 plays, 2 of them through the air. They go 50 yards, 5 yards with a penalty. They jump out to a 6-0 lead, and Jeremiah Kim, who is an outstanding place kicker.
Kim's boot is up, and it splits the uprights to give Hoggard a 7-0 lead. So from MH Rourke Stadium in Charlotte on Youth Football Night, the Hoggard Vikings lead the West Brunswick Trojans 7-0.
Jeremiah Kim now 22 of 25 for the year on point afters, and also 3 for 3 on field goal attempts. So Craig Underwood has a real valuable weapon in his kicking team with Will Morton punting and Jeremiah Kim handling the place kicking.
And that gives us an opportunity to thank Community Finance of South Carolina for its sponsorship of tonight's Game of the Week. Community Finance offers personal and title loans with the most competitive rates in the area. Located right across the border in Little River, Community Finance provides quick approval so you, Jay Combs, can have cash in minutes. Visit Community Finance online at cfscloans.com.
Jay Combs could use a little loan these days.
Couldn't we all?
Jay Combs is, remodeling a house, so a little bit of scratch might go a long way.
A little fixer-upper, Jay?
A big fixer-upper.
Wow. Boy, Jay, through 6 weeks of this season, I thought North Brunswick's Michael Rivers had the strongest leg in the league. Jeremiah Kim is trying to lay stake to that claim.
Let me tell you, Kim got all of that one, that's for sure. Booming kickoff.
Plus a parking pass to ECU.
This guy keeps talking about
Mr. Sam Hickman.
Tickets to ECU
Kim is the son
on Saturday.
of Coach Yogi.
You know anything about that? I mean, you're an ECU grad. Did you sell those tickets?
I did not sell those tickets.
You sold those tickets.
I absolutely did not sell those
tickets. I told you not to
tickets.
sell those tickets.
I have to go to Community Finance for my money, not East Carolina tickets. And Jay, if you've seen the Pirates play this year, you know I wouldn't get much money for those bad boys.
Go East Carolina Pirates.
I'm trying to talk our man Tristan over here to considering East Carolina for a college choice, but I think it's falling on deaf ears.
They play soccer there, don't they? I mean,
no men's soccer team at East Carolina, actually.
We could start one.
No men's soccer.
Oh,
UNCW does have a men's soccer team. Just saying, Tristan. Just saying.
Old Evers is over here recruiting for the Seahawks. Go. Tristan, a man in demand.
Jay, why don't you, I know you told me before you didn't let your schooling get in the way of your education, but let's tell the folks where your second
I believe, Degree is from.
Oh, my
Maybe
heavens.
you've heard of it. Lacrosse Powerhouse, where is it?
It's illegal. I'm pretty sure. I have dreams every night that they're going to rescind that degree, and I've had it for like 30 years. Hey, there's Medford back running the football, Sam.
And, Jay, that was the most successful running play outside of McDowell's scramble for 20 yards early. That 3-yard gain was West Brunswick's best rush of the evening.
Yeah, Case of Medford, the 5'9", 180-pound senior, leads the team in rushing, 479 yards.
McDowell hands that one off up the middle, and Daniels has got some running room. Boy, he is popped. Jay, look who came and got on that fumble. That was big Monty Stanley who recovered the fumble. But a nice gain there from Daniels. That's out across the 20 to the 23-yard line for 5 yards.
And there's a flag down on the field, Sam, I think, or did they pick it up?
Jay, there was a flag, and I think it's because the referee couldn't find his beanbag on the fumble, so he threw the yellow flag down instead and immediately picked it up.
Oh, boy, that was a vicious hit that time, and Monty Stanley doing a very alertly pouncing on that loose ball.
Jay, I thought initially the flag may have been for some kind of helmet-to-helmet or targeting foul, but
it's close.
Oh, McDowell looking for running room, and he's got none as he is sacked by big number 90, Brennan Litzinger. Fantastic last name, fantastic defensive lineman, and that is going to bring up a 4th and 8 for West Brunswick.
Litzinger only a 10th grader too, Sam. So, the rich get richer, right? Up at Hoggard, they just bring in year after year quality football players. It's a program at Hoggard. Craig Underwood's squad, year in, year out, just among the best.
And, Jay, that's also going to bring us to the end of the first quarter from M.H. Rourke Stadium in Charlotte on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. After 12 minutes of game action, it's Hoggard 7, West Brunswick 0.
Bugs have to live somewhere. Make sure it's not your house. Strand Termite and Pest Control is ready to help you with your pest control needs. Whatever the bug, whatever the problem. From that pesky roach, ants, bed bugs, or termites damaging your house, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been helping families with their pest problems for 45 years. We can also encapsulate your crawl space to stop moisture and bugs in their tracks. We're proudly family-owned and operated and have 2 locations to serve you. Don't let bugs bug you. Call for a free estimate or visit us online.
Hey, Sam, man, it's Jay.
Hey, partner.
Didn't you tell me you know a guy that's got some heavy equipment? I need a load of dirt.
Don't worry, man. I got you.
Sam, this isn't what I had in mind.
He'll be done any time now.
I knew we should have called J.P. Russ & Son.
Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. We also haul any material, even rock. Give J.P. Russ & Son a call today.
Jay Combs and Sam Hickman and the rest of the ATMC TV team would like to thank the Brunswick Beacon for its sponsorship of tonight's game. Your community newspaper since 1962, the Brunswick Beacon is your source for local news, sports, and features. Subscribe to the Beacon today. Call 754-6890 or go to brunswickbeacon.com. Jay, how does this West Brunswick offense get on track? Obviously a 4th and 8 here, but when the Trojans get the ball back, whenever that may be, how do they move the ball against this Hoggard defense? Oh boy, McDowell pressured. Jay, I believe the Trojans may be gifted a first down as McDowell was hit when he punted the ball. And if that's a rough in the punter call, that might be the way to get the Trojan offense on track.
Yeah, they took me off the hook with an answer because, right, what we've seen so far in the first quarter, can't think of much of anything that West is going to be able to do to solve a very tenacious Hoggard defense. Sam, over the last 3 games for Hoggard, I think they've only given up about 70 yards a game rushing, and rushing is what West Brunswick would prefer to do, although we have seen Owen McDowell the past few games open it up a little bit through the air. So You know, this and offensively scoring points all year has been a bit of an issue for West, although over the past few games they've gotten a little better. So might be the perfect storm here tonight, a team that struggles to run the ball and score against a team that is very difficult to run against and only gives up about 6 or 7 points a game.
Jay, worth mentioning, that was running into the kicker. That was called not roughing. Of course, roughing is a 15-yard penalty. That would have given West Brunswick a first down. Instead, it was running into the kicker, which is just a 5-yard penalty, and so the Trojans still face a 4th down situation. It's a 4th and 3 from the West Brunswick 27-yard line.
Sam, you know, with respect to Hoggard trying to defend against a kid who does that rugby-style punting, it's pretty hard to not run into him. You know, you want to try to tackle him.
And that one was very nearly blocked, Jay. If you know, it's a running into, but with the pressure you applied, you know, if you can get, not like you can plan this, but a 5-yard penalty against your block team, that's not the worst thing that could happen.
One more thing, you know, McDowell is a right-footed kicker, so he has a tendency to want to run to the right, but that's the short side of the field for West right now. The open field is the other way. I don't know whether he could run this way and get turned around to kick the ball, but let's see what Owen's going to come up with.
And Jay, we've seen how dangerous Pipkin is in the return game.
Yes, we have. So see, he just went straight at it and nailed it pretty good.
And Jay, that's about what you want to do if you're this West Brunswick punt team. McDowell gets a good foot on it, so you get some distance, but you don't give Pipkin a chance to make a play in the return game.
Exactly, and the net turns out in this instance pretty good for the Trojans.
Let's see where it's going to be marked. Looks like the ball is going to be brought out to the 35-yard line, so a really nice job by McDowell. That is a 38-yard punt with no return, so 38 yards net there.
And again, he didn't do the rugby style that time because he was on the short side of the field, didn't have enough room to do it, but did a real good conventional punt. And there's Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones and me.
He wants to go up.
Jones looking for a receiver. He's got a man. Really, really nice catch by Scavone. That's across the first down marker to the 46-yard line. 11 yards from Jones to Scavone.
Yeah, Anthony Scavone, who has 14 catches, 314 yards, 4 scores. Jones has thrown 14 touchdowns this year. Notice the success in passing now has been on the shorter routes, particularly over the middle.
Tyler Tate trying to pressure the quarterback, but Jones has got some room. He's got a man, too. Very nice coverage on the play from number 23, Noah Johnson. That pass intended for Scavone. Jay, it's 7-0, 11:22 left in the second quarter, but you got to be impressed with the defensive backfield of West Brunswick. Johnson, DeAndre Clariday, Khalil Bland, and of course Jalen Jones-Bay, all done a really nice job, aside from one play, keeping this Hoggard passing attack at bay.
Well, I'm sure Coach Williamson and his staff prepped these kids real well over the past week, fully anticipating a lot of balls being thrown, and you're right, the secondary has played well.
Boy, that pass is right down the line of scrimmage to the 46. That's Hoggard's number 5, Trey Hauser, on the reception. He picks up about a yard or two. We'll give him the 47. We'll give him the 48-yard line. So Jones to Hauser for 2 yards, but that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
And again, Clariday on defense that time, just giving enough room and coming up and pushing the receiver out of bounds. Sets up a big 3rd down for both.
Jones rolls out to his left. He's under pressure. He runs away from the pressure and runs out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line, but about 10 or 11 yards on the pickup to the Trojan 41-42, and it's going to be a first down for the Vikings.
Yeah, pretty good. Smart play that time by Josh Jones. Nobody open again because of some good defensive coverage, but gives Jones a lane or two. He gets around the edge, picks up the first down.
So twice now Jones has hurt the
West Brunswick team with his legs, and that's Scavone. He breaks 2 tackles, looking for more running room, and that's Jakari Bethel from his linebacker position who brings him down at the 30-yard line. That's another 11-yard completion from Jones to Scavone.
Yeah, that time Bethel beat up a lot of ground for the tackle, and one of the few times tonight West has missed a tackle. Scavone pretty slippery that time.
Middle screen for Hoggard, and it's very well covered. That's big 44 Russ Gore in on the tackle. That's about a 2-yard, 1-yard gain. I couldn't tell who called that pass. Maybe Hauser?
I think so, Sam.
1 yard, bring up a 2nd and 9 from the West 29.
And a good stay-at-home positioning that time by Russ Gore to help make that stop.
Boy, Jay, we haven't seen an offense with this tempo either yet this season. Hoggard wants to get up on the line and snap it. That pass intended for Scavone, but it falls incomplete as defensive coordinator Mike Probst is talking to Noah Johnson and number 6, Jalen Jones-Bay.
Pass that time intended for C.J. Pipkin, 6'2" junior, pretty big kid, 185 pounds, and has already shown this evening that he knows what to do when he catches the ball.
Oh, Jones looking to set up the screen, and West has it covered. Jones takes off. He's still on his feet all the way across the 20 to the 19 or 18-yard line.
Could be just short of the first down.
It's going to be very close to the first down marker. As they say, Jay, it depends on the spot, waiting on the call from the official.
Well, again, real smart play that time by Jones, showing some athleticism, talk a lot about his arm. Obviously here this evening, he has demonstrated the ability to pick up yards with his legs, and that time picked up enough to move the chains for the first down. Josh Jones, a 6'3", 210-pound senior. I think he is number 2 in the area in passing behind Blake Walston at New Hanover.
And Jay Jones has also converted a 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 on this possession alone with his feet. So he's not just a thrower. That handoff is up the middle to Hauser. He's brought down at the 16-yard line for a 3-yard gain.
And of course brought down by Russ Gore. But you know, when a team can throw the ball as efficiently as can Hoggard, it does set up your ability to run the football. They really haven't looked to the run too much tonight, but they keep completing some passes. You got to think that it's going to be a little easier to run the ball, and they do have some guys that are quite capable, Marshall and Roy Giroux.
We'll give Hauser 2 yards on that play there. 2nd and 8 from the 17-yard line. Oh, Hauser nearly fumbled that. He's brought down from behind, trying to see who made that tackle there. Looks like that was Big Tim Sellers from his defensive end position. Makes a nice play trailing that play. That was 3 yards, 2 yards on the play for Hauser.
Sellers 230 pounds. But I'll tell you what, he gets around on that field pretty good, pretty quick. That time did make up a lot of ground to bring down the Hoggard ball carrier.
Jay, a break there for Hoggard as Hauser very nearly fumbled that pitch there, almost put it on the ground, which would have been a huge turnover by this Trojan defense. Jones gets the snap, he rolls out to his left, he's looking for a receiver on the stop route, he's got a man, it's complete, tackled on the far sideline by DeAndre Clariday. Very close to the first down marker. That was Scavone once again on the catch.
Yeah,
Pass was complete.
Probably a kid that's not going to miss too many balls that are thrown his way that are catchable and enough to, again, move the chains and pick up the first down for the Vikings.
First and goal at the Trojan 9-yard line. 8 minutes left here in the second quarter on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Let's see if the Trojan defense can bow its neck with its heels near its own goal line. Jones in the shotgun formation. That is running back Kenneth Marshall in the backfield with him. Number 11, Lucas Snoddy in motion. That handoff goes to Marshall. He makes a man miss. He's brought down by number 40, Hunter Nickel. Nice job by the Trojan defense there on that first and goal play.
I like this kid Nickel. The last 2-3 games that we've seen West play, Hunter Nickel has been very, very active from that linebacker position. Really does a good job with. Already got two of the better, maybe the best, some people would think, linebackers around in Gore and Bethel tandem. You add in Hunter Nickel, Tyler Tate jumps in there and does a good job too from the linebacker position.
I formation, handoff goes right up the middle. That's number 32, Tyler Tate, who was one of the several Trojans in on that play. Also, number 44, Russ Gore in on the tackle. We'll give Marshall a yard on the play. That's going to set up a 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line.
Most times, Sam, there are a number of tacklers in on a play for West Brunswick. Chances are Russ Gore will be at the bottom of that pile.
And you can usually find Jakari Bethel around there somewhere too.
They are around the ball.
Jones fakes the handoff. He's looking for someone to throw to. He runs around the right side. He fires it out of bounds. Excellent job of 3rd down defense with their heels on their goal line to force an incompletion on 3rd down. And Jay, that's a great job. Everybody stayed there. They weren't fooled by the handoff, put pressure on Jones, and he had to fling it out of bounds.
Well, just, a good defensive effort by West and a smart play by Jones, not forcing it. And when you got a kid like Kim that can come on the field and kick field goals, you don't want to give up that chance.
The kick is up, and the kick splits the uprights. Kim adds his 4th field goal of the year. He's 4 for 4 on 3-point tries. So with 6:16 left here in the 2nd quarter, it's Hoggard 10, West Brunswick 0, and that gives us a moment to thank a couple of our sponsors, including the Grissettown Longwood Fire and Rescue Haunted Trail. Can you survive the Grissettown Longwood Fire and Rescue Haunted Trail? You'll go in, dun dun dun, but will you come out? The 9th annual Haunted Trail opens at 7 p.m. every Friday and spooky Saturday of October, plus October 30th, and of course Halloween night. Located at 758 Longwood Road in Ocean Isle Beach. For more information, contact 287-3030 or visit grissettownfire.com.
Well, folks.
Hold on, Doghouse. I'm getting to you after the kickoff.
What can I say? He's now, when he reads the copy, he's doing sound effects. And he's doing like the mysterious, songs that run over the commercial. I mean, this guy is doing it all. Let's see if West can do it all on a nice return here. Special teams, get him back in the game.
That's Clariday busting through the middle of the Hoggard defense, still on his feet across the 30. That's a big, tough kick return there by DeAndre Clariday. Jay, this kid is turning into a star in front of our eyes. DeAndre Clariday can play football.
Yeah, he can, and you can start thinking about it when maybe this year and certainly next year in his junior, when he starts getting the ball more on offense, it looks like he could be a very, very dangerous runner.
That was a 27-yard kick return by DeAndre Clariday. And, Jay is someone we heard about in the offseason and didn't see a lot in the early stages, but he has turned into a key contributor, especially on defense, where he's done a really nice job covering Scavone on several plays tonight. That's DeMonte Daniels around the left side looking for running room. Boy, West Brunswick had a play set up there, but could not get a block out on the edge, and the defensive back brings Daniels down at about the 34. So what could have been about a 6 or 7 yard gain, Hoggard limits to a 2-yard gain on 1st down.
Yeah, Big Tim Sellers from his left guard position was leading the way, but looks like he ran past the defender, which allowed Hoggard to come up and make the stop on Daniels.
McDowell hands it off up the middle. Oh, Daniels had some running room around the left side. He just couldn't escape the grasp of the Hoggard tackler. So that's a 1-yard loss on the play for Daniels. And Jay, once again, been a theme of the night for West Brunswick offensively. It's a 3rd and long situation.
And that time looked like it was Cameron Kite, 6'1", 210 senior linebacker in on the stop. Once again, as we mentioned earlier, Sam, this is an excellent, this being Hoggard is an excellent defensive team against the run, and they've certainly done nothing here so far this evening to to diminish that. They are tough to run against.
McDowell looking for a receiver. He's looking for someone to throw to under all kinds of pressure. Makes a guy miss. Looking for someone to throw to. He's got a man. It falls incomplete. Would have been enough for a first down. TJ Cinto not able to corral the tough pass. Would have been a great catch by Cinto. Boy, McDowell made an excellent play, just giving West Brunswick a chance on that play.
You know, you're probably not old enough to remember Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, of course.
But he sort of did his Fran Tarkenton impersonation that time by evading the rush and buying time and getting rid of the ball, making a pretty good throw, but Cinto just not able to come up with it, so sets up the 4th and punting situation for West Brunswick.
Jay, I wouldn't say insulted, but disappointed you didn't think I'd know who Fran Tarkenton was, as Pipkin makes a fair catch at the 40-yard line.
Reef, I've got shoes older than you, Sam. I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Adcock
very respectful of your youth.
Stadium.
The Doghouse Grill 2 is your neighborhood hotspot, serving breakfast all day, plus delicious handmade burgers, deli sandwiches, gourmet Red Barn coffee, and dessert to satisfy your sweet tooth. Open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. The Doghouse Grill 2 on Beach Drive in Ocean Isle Beach. And believe me, and my wife would tell you, I know all about the Doghouse.
I bet you do. Actually, Mrs. Combs has been there with me on a couple times, and she speaks very highly of it as well.
That handoff goes around the right side. That's Big Jakari Bethel and Tyler Tate in on the tackle. Looks like that was number 5, Hauser.
Tyler Tate with a huge hit. Second down.
3 yards on the play for Hoggard. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 from the Vikings' 43-yard line.
Boy, West would be really good to keep Hoggard off the board here on this possession. Down 2 scores with only 4 minutes to go in the half.
Jones fakes the handoff. He's looking for a man deep. He's got Scavone. Jones Bay looking to bring him down, and he does, but a huge completion from Josh Jones
Number 8.
to Anthony Scavone inside the 10-yard line, marked down at the 7. That's the first time, Jay, the deep ball's been just a little bit off for Hoggard tonight. They certainly connected on that one.
Well, he dialed it in that time, and early on going for the home run shots, he was a little long, but on that play he was right. He being Josh Jones, right on the money. Under pressure, too, when he made that throw. That's just an excellent, excellent pass by Josh Jones.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Hoggard leads 10-0. Jones looking for someone to throw to. He evades some Trojan tacklers and crosses the goal line for a rushing touchdown from the 7-yard line. And the Vikings have added to their lead with 3:22 left in the first half. It's Hoggard 16, West Brunswick 0.
You know, football is so much of an emotional game, and I think emotionally, after all night long, West successfully defending against those long passes to give up one the next play, they just were a little down, and Jones took advantage of it.
Kim's kick is up, and it once again splits the upright, so Kim has hit a field goal and connected on both of his extra point attempts. So again, with 3:22 left in the second quarter, it's Hoggard 17, West Brunswick 0. Of course, you wouldn't have to listen to Jay Combs and I ramble on out all night if it weren't for the sponsorship of ATMC. Serving our community for more than 60 years, ATMC is your local provider for telephone, internet, digital cable, wireless, and home security. ATMC is a local company with local priorities. Contact ATMC today at 755-8206 or check it out on the web at atmc.com.
Sam, did you catch how long that pass was that time?
That was a 48-yard completion from the 43 to the opposing 7.
Man, that thing was like picture perfect. He couldn't have handed him the ball.
50 yards, Jay. I take that back. It was 50 yards.
It was in the air a long time. That's just listen, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get beat. That time, West just got beat on a great play by a great thrower in Josh Jones.
And Jay, it looked like Jones Bay got back to where Scavone was on. It was just a perfectly thrown ball. I mean, Jones Bay made up the ground that he lost on the play action fake. Scavone just made a great catch, but really even better throw by Jones.
Well, I say sometimes you just got to kind of give credit to the other team, and I think that was one of those times, because you're right, Jalen did a good job trying to stay with Scavone, but ball just too well thrown, and Scavone with those good hands able to come up with a big catch, which set up the 7-yard Josh Jones touchdown run. 17-0, that's what I was saying before. You know, you go into the half 10-0, you're feeling okay. 3 scores, tough against a solid rock defense like the Hoggard Vikings.
McDowell in the shotgun formation. He's got 4 receivers out to the right. McDowell looking for someone to throw to. He lost it. It's knocked away. It looked like that was number 9 on the deflection. Christian Holler, man, he's making plays all over the place.
So that's a kid that plays in the defensive line, but obviously drops back and has the ability to cover as well. And nobody was open for West that time. And as you can tell, the way Owen really threw that ball out of bounds as much as anything, just so he wouldn't throw an interception.
And Jay, going back to the play action pass, the 50-yard completion from Jones to Scavone, in high school football, with pass interference being a 15-yard penalty, if you can get there, sometimes you're better served just tackling the receiver. 15 yards, a heck of a lot better than giving up 50. That's going to be a screen to Price. He makes the catch, looking for running room. He is dropped down by guess who? Christian Holler at the 20-yard line, so no gain on the completion from McDowell to Price.
Unfortunately, the Hoggard roster, while it does list Christian Holler, it tells us that he is a senior. It doesn't tell us how big he is, and I'm
going to go 6'3", 230.
I'm wondering.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty good size to me. Everybody's 6'3", 230 to me, Sam. But he's really, he being Holler, Christian Holler, has had an exceptional first half of football here this evening.
Christian Holler. You get it, partner?
I get it.
Also a Holler on the West Brunswick sideline, of course, big right tackle, number 64, Casey Holler. I believe you were complimenting Casey's good looks just last week. No, 2 weeks ago.
Could very well. He has one of the guys that has that helmet off. You get a chance to see him up close and personal.
Raise breast cancer awareness in women's basketball on campuses.
ATMC TV would like to thank Strand Termite and Pest Control, one of our steady sponsors. Strand Termite and Pest Control is locally owned and operated, and it has been serving the Carolinas for more than 45 years. It provides comprehensive pest control services to ensure the safety and health of your residence or workplace. Using integrated pest management techniques and new science, it proudly offers you today's most effective treatments. Enjoy fast and friendly service along with affordable prices from our company.
Followed her example and began the pick games at West Brunswick
3rd and 10 for West.
For Relay for Life in the American
Big down.
Society.
If they can't pick up a first down here and move the chains, they're going to have to turn the ball over to Hoggard. Hoggard's shown their ability to go long distances in short amounts of time.
Boy, McDowell looking for someone to throw to. He's got nobody. He's being chased, and he is brought down at the 11-yard line for a 9-yard sack with 2:17 left in the second quarter. And Jay, Hoggard wisely calls for a timeout, trying to get as much time as they can for this possession to end the first half.
That was Cameron Kite again from his linebacker position. Plenty of help from his white-shirted Viking teammates. Brought Owen down for a loss, and this is not good if you're a West Brunswick Trojan football fan, because West is going to have to kick just outside their end zone.
And Jay, of course you want to score points, but one thing West Brunswick hasn't been able to do as well, they've only had 1 first down tonight. That was the McDowell scramble, and all their drives have started inside their own 30, and without being able to sustain a drive at least, they've been punting from deep in their own territory, and a Hoggard offense that's already potent and doesn't need any help has had excellent starting field position all night.
Field position is a really important part of football. The less amount of distance you have to travel, the easier it is to score. You know, it eliminates the chances for turnovers, and it's just a really sometimes undervalued part of a football contest. Both these schools know it. Certainly Hoggard knows it, and they've been the beneficiary of it. They're going to receive this ball, even if they just fair caught it.
Near midfield.
They're going to have it in West territory.
McDowell gets a nice booming kickoff. It is a fair catch there by Pipkin. Did have some room to return there, but a really excellent punt by Owen McDowell. Pipkin makes a fair catch at the 46-yard line. 43-yard punt.
He kicked them out of trouble, or at least for a minute, right? I mean,
this year he's looking for a state title.
Long kick, but still a relatively short field. As we were talking earlier, we've already seen Jones throw a 50-yard pass. And they only have to go 54 yards right now. And they got a kicker, too, so they don't even have to go score a touchdown. They just have to move the ball downfield to get in position to maybe take a field goal or make a field goal attempt.
Jones rolls out to his right, looking for a man to throw to. He's got a wide open Hauser all by himself at the 20-yard line, and that is a 53-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Hauser with exactly 2 minutes left in the first half. That makes the score Vikings 23, West Brunswick 0 on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. And Jay, I was just about to comment how nice of a job defensive coordinator Mike Probst and the defensive players have done. And boy, that was a busted coverage there as Hauser was all alone at the West Brunswick 20-yard line.
Yeah, it had to be a breakdown somewhere defensively, Sam, because you're right. Trey Hauser didn't have a green shirt within 20 yards of him.
The extra point attempt by Kim is up and good. Hoggard leads 24-0 in the first half on Youth Football Night from MH Rourke Stadium in Charlotte on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Boy, Jay, it went from 10-0 to 24-0 awfully quick. Awfully
quick. And that's when you have the big play capability. Josh Jones slow early on and connected with those long passes, but he has certainly warmed up here in the last 5-6 minutes of the second quarter.
And Jay, the West Brunswick DBs, again, Jones Bay and Johnson and DeAndre Clarity and Khalil Bland had done such a nice job, limiting the big strike by Hoggard. And then all of a sudden, Jones hits a 31-yard touchdown pass, 50-yard completion to Scavone, and now a 53-yard touchdown to Trey Hauser. So that's 3 completions of at least 31 yards already for Jones.
Well, and a kid that completes nearly 67, 2/3 of his passes. He started off slow, but you knew that wasn't going to last.
Oh, West Brunswick with a nifty little return there, all the way across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Who was that, partner?
I think it was Julian
LeGrand, yeah.
Oh, now they're saying the PA announcer said it was Clarity.
No, you were right. It was 10, Jay. It was LeGrand. You should be the PA guy, man.
Folks at home have a tough enough job listening to me on this, much less, listening to me in the press box. But so 1:53 to go, down 24 points. Wow, I think if nothing else, West wants to get a first down here and keep Hoggard off the field offensively.
That's the best offensive play of the night for a running back for West Brunswick as Bethel races across the 45 to about the 48-yard line for an 11-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, highlights have been hard to find for West here this evening, particularly offensively, but Kari Bethel that time doing a good job of running off the left side and picking up a first down. West desperately needed that.
Only Bethel's third carry of the evening as West Brunswick's in the I formation. Bethel's got it again, looking for running room. He's across midfield. A nice physical hit there by the Hoggard defender. And boy, Mike Probst takes a spill there on the sideline. Oh no, that wasn't Mike Probst. That was Mike Alderson there, who's knocked down there, but Bethel picks up good gain on the play, Jay. That's 4 yards, so 2 back-to-back good runs by Bethel.
Pads are popping down on the field, Sam. The kids may be down in the score, but not down in their effort. And Kelly Williamson's got to like that.
Boy, Jay, Ja'Cory Bethel, not one to shy away from contact, is he?
Not at all.
That's a run play off left tackle for the 3rd consecutive time. Bethel still on his feet. Never did go down, Jay, as he's across the 45-yard line to about the 43 for another 4-yard gain.
One of the tacklers that time for the Vikings was number 9, Christian Holler, who's had a splendid first half here tonight. But even Holler, as well as he's played, having a little bit of a challenge trying to take down big 4-2, Ja'Cory Bethel.
Jay, that's 20 yards on the last 3 carries by Bethel. And West Brunswick ran the same play all 3 times, a handoff off left tackle as Easton Simmons comes in motion. Gets set up on the line. McDowell under center. He fakes that handoff. Oh, Hoggard had it covered. McDowell's just looking for someone to throw it to. He rifles the ball out of bounds. Easton Simmons was in the vicinity, so no intentional grounding is called. And the Trojans and McDowell live to see another day. It's going to set up a 4th and 2 from the Hoggard 43-yard line.
Sam, when you say Easton was in the vicinity, I guess you're saying Oak Island is close to Charlotte because
sure,
because that's in the vicinity that's in Brunswick County, and I think Owen did a great job that time of just getting rid of the ball and not getting killed.
1:08 left in the first half. West going for a 4th and 2 from the Hoggard 43. That handoff goes to Bethel. He is brought down at about the line of scrimmage. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. Actually, they gave him a yard to the 42, but still short. Not enough yardage for the line to gain, and that is going to be a first down for the Hoggard Vikings.
And it'll be interesting to see what Coach Underwood does on this possession. He's got a minute. He's got the ball at his 41-2-3. Now, because of the kicking ability of Jeremiah Kemp, they don't necessarily have to get all the way into the end zone to score.
Well, if you're West, you really just don't want to get beat deep again here with only a minute left here in the first half.
But yet you have plenty of time for Josh Jones to take several shots.
Jones throws a quick slant. Pipkin makes the catch. He's still on his feet across the 40, down at about the 37-yard line for a Hoggard first down. And the clock is stopped at 49 seconds as the Vikings pick up a first down. Jones to Pipkin.
I'll tell you what, Pipkin is a pip of a receiver. He didn't come in with the numbers that some of his teammates did, but he's had a really solid first half here this evening catching the ball.
Jones in the shotgun, rifles a quick slant. The pass is complete to number 5, Trey Hauser, who's down, dropped at the 25-yard line for another Hoggard first down. Clock is stopped while they move the chains with 34 seconds left in the first half.
Tackle was by number 7, and on my roster, Sam, I've got an Ernest Robinson, which is a name that I don't remember calling all year long, so I hope we got it right. But number 7, and if you're Ernest Robinson, heck of a tackle that time, open field.
Boy, Jay, when it was still 10-0 and the West Brunswick defense had played so incredibly well, Jones hit that long play action pass to Scavone for 50 yards, and it was palpable. You could feel the energy come out of the stadium. Yeah. West Brunswick was still fighting, still hanging in there, and that feeling just dissipated on that long completion. Of course, Jones scored on a quarterback keeper a play later from 7 yards out, and really since that moment it has been all Vikings.
Well, again, and that's the emotional roller coaster of football, and ever since that long pass play, which then set up Josh Jones' TD run, West has struggled not able to come up with the big play, the big stop that they were so very able to do through much of the first half here tonight.
Jones in the shotgun, looking for a receiver. He's looking for a man deep. He's got a man. The pass is complete to number 15, Chris Towdle, the 6'4" junior wide receiver who also serves as the team's backup quarterback. That is a 25-yard touchdown strike from Jones to Towdle, and the Vikings lead 30-0 with 26 seconds left in the first half.
Well, let me tell you,
ladies and gentlemen, if anyone has any handy, the booster
Josh
club needs
Jones
some
throws a
napkins,
real
socks,
nice
paper
ball. These
towels
receivers run real nice
down at the
routes,
booster
but
club
credit
field.
that offensive line because Jones has got all day long to throw the football.
Kim's extra point is up. It once again splits the uprights. So 4 for 4 on extra point attempts on the night from Kim. He added a 22-yard field goal. So he's got 7 points alone already. And with less than 30 seconds left in the first half, the Vikings have seized control of this matchup of first-place teams in this league. It's Vikings 31, Trojans 0.
Don't forget, this is,
Ladies and gentlemen,
and we knew
we'd also
this.
like to thank our
We
booster
knew that
club
this was a very
for
good
all they do
Hoggard
to
football
support
team,
our
so
athletic
good
teams.
that depending on which poll you're looking at, they're ranked either 7 or 11 in all of
If
North
you'd like to be a
Carolina
member of the booster
4A
club, please
schools.
see Coach
So
Fletcher,
no surprise
Coach Reeves,
that they're winning
Mike
this game.
Lewis.
A
For more
little
information.
surprised that they've been able to score so much in such a brief period of time, but that's exactly what they've been able to do here thus far tonight.
Don't forget the concession
Jay,
stand is open.
worth mentioning the last 2 Hoggard touchdowns, the touchdown that made it 24-0 took 9 seconds off the clock. That drive there took 34 seconds. So the last 2 touchdown drives have taken a combined 43 seconds off the game clock.
Big play capabilities, big strike capabilities, and we sort of got lulled into a little sense of false security in that first quarter when Jones is standing back and he's throwing these long passes and miss it, right? He just, it's like he had to like...
You're thinking, is this sustainable, right?
Yeah, it's not. You know, water seeks its own level, Sam, and when you complete 2/3 of your passes, every 3 passes you throw, you complete 2. Even if you start out slowly, by the end of the
Those
night,
averages are going to even out, yeah.
back. And credit Jones for hanging in there tonight, and we still got a half of football left.
Boy, that's Medford with a nice run around the right side. Picks up about, 2 yards on the play, and the clock is at 15 seconds, and it looks like the Trojans will be content taking this one into halftime. Jay, with 10 seconds left in the first half, very quickly before the break, how do you get a group of 15 to 17-year-old kids down 31-0 at halftime to respond as you come out for the second half?
I think you just try to find whatever little positives you can, and maybe the thing to do is to say, hey, look, guys, that half is over. There's nothing we can do. We got another 24 minutes of football. Let's see what we can do to turn this around. Last week, we saw West play great in the first half and poor in the second half. Maybe tonight they can reverse it and have a big second half.
And after 24 minutes of game action on your ATMC TV Game of the Week, it's Hoggard 31, West Brunswick 0.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
We are part of the first LEGO League. It's a robotics league. It was developed by Dean Kamen. He is a famous inventor, also invented the Segway. Dean and LEGO partnered back in 1999 to develop a robotics league to develop STEM, the science, technology, engineering, math skills for young kids. Now, what we do here for the Academy of Coastal Carolina is we are part of the first LEGO League series of this program. I'd heard about the first LEGO League through one of my nephews. He's also a part of it in a different school system. Thought it would be great for the school, and so I went to the principal and we talked about starting and joining this robotics league. She thought it was a great idea. Instead of doing it with just a few students, we decided to do it as almost a whole curriculum portion for the school. So we have 40 plus students actually working on these robots every Friday for about an hour and a half, learning the STEM skills. It's great to see them, their inquisitive minds. They love trying new things. Of course, it's a safe environment to learn about a lot of these technologies that other places they may not be able to, or going to school. It's getting them an early look at some real world activities. These Lego bricks are actually using coding tools, using mechanical type engineering schools, science skills, and they're also learning to work together, which is very important as they grow up and choose careers in the real world. The kids, of course, love playing with Legos. It's hard to not, the first thing you want to do is play with Legos as a kid, and you get to come and play with Legos. But they're also learning something, and really I think it's also bringing them confidence. They're learning how to actually operate a robot and to learn to code. And again, it's in a safe environment. They know they're not going to break anything. And when they see success and when they're learning how to do things, it really gives them confidence that they know that they can do this as they grow up and grow in their skills into the real world. It's great to be part of the community. We are so grateful for ATMC because it's very important. Some of these kits are fairly expensive. So really to be able to have these extra kits and to have all the kids involved and to learn this technology program. Again, the Academy was so thankful for the grant. Very important for us to continue to grow. And we're just, again, so thankful to ATMC for being a part of it.
Bugs have to live somewhere. Make sure it's not your house. Strand Termite and Pest Control is ready to help you with your pest control needs. Whatever the bug, whatever the problem. From that pesky roach, ants, bed bugs, or termites damaging your house, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been helping families with their pest problems for 45 years. We can also encapsulate your crawl space to stop moisture and bugs in their tracks. We're proudly family owned and operated and have 2 locations to serve you. Don't let bugs bug you. Call for a free estimate or visit us online.
Hey Sam, man, it's Jay.
Hey, partner.
Didn't you tell me you know a guy that's got some heavy equipment? I need a load of dirt.
Don't worry, man. I got you.
Sam, this isn't what I had in mind.
He'll be done any time now.
I knew we should have called J.P. Russ & Son.
Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. We also haul any material, even rock. Give J.P. Russ & Son a call today. ATMC TV's Game of the Week is brought to you by J.P. Russ & Son Grading and Clearing, Community Finance of South Carolina, Grissettown Longwood Fire and Rescue's Haunted Trail, The Doghouse Grill 2, Strand Termite and Pest Control, the Brunswick Beacon, and ATMC.
And we are back for the second half from MH Rourke Stadium. It's youth football night here at MH Rourke Stadium in Charlotte on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Reminder to our viewers to catch the games on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. following the Friday night football game. You can catch that on ATMC TV Channel 3, or even better, in ATMC TV HD Channel 910, Channel 910 to see it in HD as Kim with a high end-over-end kick 8 yards deep into the end zone near the field house. Another touchback for Kim, his 3rd of the evening. And Jay, well, you touched on it before halftime. You're West Brunswick, you're down 31-0. You're 2-4, but you're coming off a pair of conference wins. Of course, this is a little deflating, but are you playing for pride in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, pride is, and you're playing to, listen, you're playing to try to develop your skills, develop your team, develop, everything about it. They're not going to win this game tonight, Sam, I don't think. But they got a lot of football left ahead of them the rest of the year, and they want to utilize this next 24 minutes to try to become the best football team they can be.
And that's Jakari Bethel running like a man possessed on the first play of the second half. That's a big, tough run from Bethel. 5 yards on first down. Sets up a 2nd and 5.
So, Sam, explain, if you could, the running clock rule, if in fact it is in play here now, which we think it is by virtue of the 31-point deficit, and we're in the second half.
And so, Jay, in a running clock situation, it's just really what it sounds like. Regardless of an incomplete pass or what happens on the play, the clock will continuously run. It will stop on turnovers or change of possessions after scores. It does stop then, but as far as, first, second, third down, fourth down, it will not stop. It will run continuously. Jay, that was a big-time tackle by number 9, Christian Holler, upended Jakari Bethel, who lost a yard on the play. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
Came into the game tonight, 41 tackles on the year, 14 tackles for loss. He has really padded those statistics here tonight, particularly that tackle for loss number, but Christian Holler, wow.
One of the best defensive players I've seen this season, quite frankly. He is just giving the Trojan fits in every capacity tonight. McDowell rolls out to his left. Guess who? Big number 9, Christian Holler, brings down McDowell for a big loss at about the 14-yard line. That's a loss of 10. It'll bring up a 4th and 16.
Again, we were saying earlier, we don't know how big he is. He's a pretty good-sized young man, of course. I think it's his quickness as much as anything else, and he's probably very strong because he's just really throwing would-be blockers out of the way and making his advance into the backfield. And once he gets his hands on you, down you go. Big Christian Holler.
McDowell's going to catch a shotgun snap and punt it. Pipkin fields it cleanly. He's across West Brunswick's 40, brought down. Nice pop on the play from 21, DeAndre Clariday. Number 6, Jalen Jones-Bay, also in on that tackle, it appears. Excellent starting field position for the Vikings here in the 3rd quarter with 9:56 left. Hoggard will start this possession at the West Brunswick 39-yard line. And Jay, interested to see what they do with the clock. What they do with the clock here in the second half.
It isn't moving, so that's why I was a little unclear as to how the running clock would be employed here.
Hoggard going for broke on the first play of the second half, and the pass is off the hands of number 11, Lucas Snoddy. Noah Johnson, the closest man in coverage for West Brunswick. And boy, Jay, Hoggard going right for the jugular on the first play of the second half. Really nice pass by Jones. Snoddy just could not haul it in.
Yeah, the ball was there, very catchable. And again, Josh Jones, who put on a clinic in the first half after a slow start. Hoggard scored 4 touchdowns. Jones was involved in every one of them. 3 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run. Kim perfect with PATs and a 25-yard 15-yard field goal to boot. No pun intended.
Hoggard in a single back formation. Jones hands it up the middle to Marshall. Oh, that's West Brunswick. It was hard to see who was holding on to his ankle there. Let's see if I can get a good look at him. 45, Daniel Cross was hanging on to Marshall's ankle for dear life, but Marshall was able to pick up 5 yards on the play to the West Brunswick 34.
Well, they being Hoggard, haven't had to run the ball very much this evening, but they are quite capable of advancing on the ground. They just had so much good success going through the air, riding the strong arm of Josh Jones.
And Jay, I'm not any kind of recruiting expert, don't get me wrong, but I just can't see why this Jones isn't being recruited more heavily. Well, he passes my eye test. You know, I'm not saying he's a Clemson or Alabama, but I just feel like this kid's a Division I quarterback.
I'll tell you, he's made some Division I throws here tonight.
Nice coverage on the play from 21, DeAndre Clariday. Jay, looked like a bit of a mix-up between Scavone and Jones. Zig when he should have zagged on that one, maybe, as the famous quote from the Water Boy goes. Man, I sure would love to see Kim attempt a 51-yard field goal here.
Well, let me tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if he has that kind of distance. We're probably going to see a punt, and that'll be Will Morton. And I was watching Will punt during halftime, and Sam, my gosh, the ball was as high as it was far, and it was really far. So from where they are on the field now, this ball quite easily would go into the end zone unless he chooses to pooch it.
Boy, West Brunswick got a defender off the field just in time. That was big Monty Stanley running off the field. Morton drops it. It's a high end over end punt. Clariday's going to let it fall. Takes a West Brunswick bounce, but Hoggard nails it as the cover man downs it at the 1 yard line. And as much as West Brunswick has struggled offensively, boy, you can't start from inside that spot. Beautiful job by the Hoggard special teams. And West Brunswick will take over 1st and 10 at its own 1.
Well, Morton, as we were saying, has the leg strength to kick the ball a long, long way, but also showed his sophistication that time with a great pooch kick, and the ball goes over on downs to West in about as bad an area on the field as you could possibly be, just inside their 1 yard line. You see a great shot of it right there. Gabe Lewis over the ball on his 1.
That's a handoff to Bethel. He gets the Trojans out of trouble. Jay still on his feet. Bethel is all in the open field, all the way across the 50, down to the 47-yard line of the Vikings for a 50-plus yard gain by big 42 Jakari Bethel. Jay, there's some life in this place.
And there should be. And the kids haven't quit. They've just run into a really good team here tonight. But that time, Jakari broke free, got past that initial surge, and then showed his great running ability in the open field. And only a nice effort by Hoggard kept West off the board.
Looked like that was Hoggard's number 2, Isaiah Kemp, who ran Bethel down. But even after he got to him, Bethel carried him for about 10 more yards. And boy, they hand it to him on the very next play. He's still churning his legs, looking for running room. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It appears, Jay, we have some late flags here. We're going to see who's whistled for that. It's going to be some kind of personal foul because it was well after the play.
Brings up a 2nd down for the Trojans.
See who the call's on.
Landon Romano in on the stop for Hoggard.
We got a flag on the field.
To sort out the flag, I can tell you, Noah Johnson thinks it's against the Vikings.
It is going to be a personal foul on the Hoggard Vikings. So after the 53-yard gain by Bethel and a no-yard gain on 1st down, West gets a free 15 as Hoggard's whistled for a late hit or a personal foul. That's going to take the ball all the way to the Hoggard 31-yard line where the Trojans will have it 1st and 10.
Well, far and away the deepest penetration of the game so far tonight for West. And much of that gained on the long run by Bethel, and certainly the penalty there helped him out too.
McDowell fakes the handoff to Bethel, who stays in pass protection. McDowell flings a pass well over the head of any intended receiver and the closest defender. Hoggard looking for an intentional grounding penalty, but again, Jay, there was a flag dropped down by McDowell and head referee Mike Brown. Russ Gore was in that quote-unquote Oak Island vicinity that Jay likes to say, but it's going to be an intentional grounding penalty on West Brunswick.
They're going to call intentional grounding. That's what he's getting ready to call it.
The flag was thrown in late. Mike Brown having a conversation with some West Brunswick offensive players. Intentional grounding on West Brunswick, and that's going to be a spot foul and a loss of down. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and nearly 20 yards for West Brunswick.
That's a very hurtful penalty for sure. I thought that time it looked like if Russ Gore was the intended receiver, he was having all kinds of trouble getting away from Reese Moulton. Moulton really had him tied up. I wonder if he was even held, but regardless. Loss it down.
Brings up a 2nd.
Jay, that was also a loss of 18 yards. So West Brunswick will have 2nd and 28 from the Hoggard 49-yard line. And boy, head coach Kelly Williamson does not like that call. Still having a conversation with head referee Mike Brown. And boy, Williamson better be careful here. Incensed at that call. And
you're talking about the team wanting to win, wanting to play. Don't you know that head coach wants to win and wants to play?
That handoff goes to Bethel, who's still fighting for yardage, running across midfield to the 48-yard line. So he picks up maybe a yard, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 27 from the Hoggard 48-yard line.
Brennan Litzinger, who you've called out several times tonight, for Hoggard in on that stop.
Oh, Jay, right when West Brunswick had a little bit of life, the 53-yard rush, the personal foul penalty, they were almost inside the Hoggard 31-yard line, and then they get an intentional grounding, lose 18 yards, and now it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, it sure is, and makes it a tough row to hoe even more difficult.
McDowell fires one to Johnson into coverage. The ball is picked off by number 17, Brandon Buitt. He picks it off. He's run out of bounds across the 35, shy of the 40. Jay, there's going to be some kind of block in the back penalty on the return, it looks like. That was called on Hoggard's number 2, Isaiah Kemp. He hit a Trojan offensive player away from the play, so I don't know if it's going to be a block in the back or some kind of personal foul penalty. But as of now, Hoggard has the ball on the 39-yard line. They'll start inside of that after the interception.
It's going to be Hoggard ball. They're just going to mark
Regional champion
the yardage, and that'll dictate where they start from. But first turnover of the night, I believe, for either team.
Yeah, and Jay, that looked like one of the situations where it's a one-man route. You know, McDowell was going to Johnson the entire time, but the Hoggard defensive back that made the interception came over the top from his free safety position and had an easy interception.
It was, as they say, a very catchable ball. Number 17, Brandon Buer, came up with it quite easily. Now the officials are still trying to sort out what the penalty is and where the ball is going to be. It looks like they're, as you said, Sam, heading back toward Hoggard.
And Jay, my apologies to any Vikings fan watching. I said Brandon Buitt there, and I don't know how I saw a T. It's definitely an R, so Brandon Buer with the interception, and the Vikings will start at the 24-yard line.
Wait a minute. Hang on here a minute, Sam. West Brunswick's offense is on the field.
Oh, Jay, was it a pass interference?
Yes.
Penalty?
They called pass interference on 21, Tayshawn James. So, Sam.
But, Jay, I don't know if it's pass interference or automatic first down, because West, it was 3rd and 27. So I don't understand this, though, Jay, because 15 yards from 3rd and 27, it would still be 4th and 12. They've got it set up where West has like a 3rd and 4.
I don't think Craig Underwood understands it either. He's not fussing too much, but he is getting back into the box on his side of the field, and the officials may want to huddle up and think about this one just to make sure that they get the down and the ball to the correct team. We thought it was an interception and that there was a penalty on the return. And it looks like maybe the officials are seeing something different.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank our Booster Club, and don't forget, Sunset Slush is here tonight. Snowball, Pelican Snowball, our concession stand is open. Please keep our facilities clean. Make sure you throw all trash in the receptacles. We'd also like to give a big shout out to our future Trojans.
The ball on the 31-yard line. And I'm not
in
sure
orange
any
tonight
of
with the
those things
Buccaneers.
are
In
accurate.
red, the Chiefs.
And now we're walking
In
the ball
purple
back
and
the other
gold, we
way.
have the Pirates.
Kelly Williamson not happy. I don't think Craig Underwood was happy. And the officials are trying to sort it out as best they can.
Jay, after all that, I believe there was a penalty on each team, offsetting penalties, and we're going to have a replay of 3rd and 27 from the opposing 48.
Well,
oh no, they're moving the ball back to the original spot. Scratch everything I just said. Jay, I give up.
What are we up to now?
I give up.
Big numbers. Big numbers.
hey, listen, Sam, we thought it was a running clock, and that hadn't happened either, so.
Almost over $500, is that right? For the 50-50 raffle.
Go down, baby, go!
Now, Williamson just
Once again, flag on the field.
And boy, Kelly Williamson is furious on the West Brunswick sideline. He is having an animated conversation with the officials, including the white hat, Mike Brown. And boy, this is not pretty.
Must be first down. Must be first down.
Boy, Jay, they're still having a conversation down there.
Well,
So we have a 3rd and 12. Again, it was pass interference. They marked off 15. It's a 3rd and 12 from about the 33-yard line. After all that, and a handoff to Jakari Bethel, who's met at the line of scrimmage and dropped for no gain.
The ball carrier brings up a 4th down for the Trojans.
Jay, how about you settle all that for us? What just happened?
I don't know. Really, is it okay to say I don't know? Because I really don't know. I'm very curious to see how this is covered in the Brunswick Beacon next week.
I'm not even touching it. I'm not even touching it. After a 10-minute delay in which no plays were run and one head coach was very angry, and then a flag was thrown, but it was the first sideline warning, so it was no actual, West Brunswick wasn't penalized there.
Trojans in the house. Timeout taken again with the
West
Trojans.
Brunswick has taken a timeout, which, you know what, all things considered, probably not a bad idea.
I think we all need a timeout. You know what? Let's just thank ATMC, because without all them, none of us would be able to be so thoroughly confused right now. Serving our community for more than 60 years, ATMC is your local provider for telephone, internet, digital cable, wireless, and home security. ATMC is a local company with local priorities. Contact them today at 755-8206 or check them out on the web at atmc.com. We'd also like to thank Strand Termite and Pest Control for its sponsorship. Locally owned and operated, Strand Termite and Pest Control Company has been serving the Carolinas for more than 45 years. It provides comprehensive pest control services to ensure the safety and health of your new residence, Jay, or workplace. Using integrated pest management techniques and new science, proudly offers you today's most effective treatments. Enjoy fast and friendly service along with affordable prices from our company.
We'll be taking on 3A rival New Hanover. Come out, support us.
Jay, have you settled back in yet? You good? You with us there, partner?
I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm a little shell-shocked right now, Sam Hickman.
Halfway through this 3rd quarter with Hoggard leading 31-0. West has a 4th and 12 from about the 33-yard line. McDowell looking for running room. He doesn't have any. He does escape pressure. Throws up a wobbly Hail Mary pass. West Brunswick's got it. The catch is made. And it is a touchdown, number 83, Nasir Price on a Hail Mary. Wobbly pass from Owen McDowell, but it looks like a 33-yard touchdown. When you read it in next week's Beacon, the Trojans are on the board on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Jay, Price did a nice job going up and making a play on the ball there.
And keeping his feet in bounds and picking up the touchdown.
Come on, Logan Smith, you look out of breath, sir.
Hunter Jan's kick is up, and Jan splits the uprights. He's 5 for 5 in his last 2 weeks, and with 5:38 left in the 3rd quarter, it's Hoggard 31, West Brunswick 7.
You know, Sam, we kidded, but it's not really kidding that much. You know, location versus rotation. That time, McDowell's pass wasn't perfectly thrown in terms of rotation, but perfectly
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder,
and
Monday is
Sean
our
Price
conference tournament
came up with
for
a
our
nice
girls
catch
tennis
to
team.
score and gives the
Hosted
Trojan
here
fans something to cheer
at
for.
Ocean Beach.
Jay, I know you and our production manager, Aaron Varnum, gave me a tough time about my leg cramp story. I got another story for you, and it doesn't involve cramps. In 2003, my junior season, we were down in the first round of the playoffs to Southern Wayne 19-7 with 5 minutes left. We scored a touchdown on a trick play, got the ball back, and with about a minute left, my brother, Brett, throws a pass just like that to Chris Peanut Bland, who later played at Elon. He's now a football coach at Kennesaw State. The defender was draped all over Peanut. It was so underthrown. Chris comes back and makes the catch about the 10-yard line, hops over the guy, scores the game-winning touchdown. But that just tied the score at 20. Yours truly had to come on and drain the game-winning extra point with 1 minute 5 seconds left to give the Trojans the victory. Oh boy, nice return there by the Hoggard Vikings. Looks like that Scavone still on his feet, as we got a little wrestling match going on there about the 35-yard line. But Hoggard with solid starting field position, trying to respond to West Brunswick's first score of the game, a 33-yard touchdown pass from senior quarterback Owen McDowell to Nasir Price.
The only thing that would have been better with that story you just told is if you had made the extra point despite
leg
the
cramps.
leg cramp.
I wish maybe I'll add that into the story as the years go on.
I would add that in. That's a good story, man.
But Jay, I didn't even play on the team. I was just an extra point kicker. So how does a guy like that get leg cramps?
I don't know. How does a guy like number 81, Easton Simmons, jump in there at that time, make a good stop in the backfield? The Easton assassin, Easton Simmons, with a good stop for West.
Loss of 1 yard on the play for the Vikings. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 from the 35-yard line of Hoggard. Jay, nice to see West Brunswick come out in this third quarter and fight. Really is.
Oh yeah, I don't think they quit in the first half. They're just getting beat by a better team.
Oh, that's Marshall on the handoff. He has got a lot of running room up the middle. He is racing, trying to beat DeAndre Clariday to the spot. Big time hustle by Clariday, brings Marshall down inside the 20-yard line at about the 16, and Jay Clariday getting up gimpy there, but great hustle from the young man, preventing the touchdown in a 24-point game.
He saved a touchdown for sure. Marshall has scored 3 times this year on the ground, and Kenneth averages, he's a 5'7" junior running back. He averages 7.5 yards per pop, and that average just went up on that big run.
Jay, that is the third play of 50 yards or more for this explosive Hoggard Vikings offense tonight. 3 plays of at least 50 yards.
Well, they average 36.3 points per game. They are ahead of their average here tonight. We're coming up close to it.
Jones looking for someone to throw to, takes a lick as he releases the pass, and that falls incomplete. Nice job by Julian LeGrand in coverage.
And pressure by Easton Simmons. So again, sometimes the best pass defense is a good pass rush. That time Simmons able to put a little bit of pressure.
Number 31, Jeremiah Daly breaking up the pass.
2nd and 10 from the West Brunswick 15-yard line. There is 4 minutes, 36 seconds left in the third quarter here on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Number 11 ranked 4A team in the state of North Carolina, Hoggard, has 31 to West Brunswick 7. Trojans just got on the board with a McDowell touchdown pass to Price. Hoggard threatening 2nd and 10 from the 15. That's Marshall again on the carry, looking for running room. Nice job by the defensive line to slow him up. That gave time for 77 Monty Stanley and 44 Russ Gore time to make the tackle.
Well, Big Monty at 330 pounds eats up a lot of space in the interior of that line. The little renaissance, I guess, that West has enjoyed the past couple of games defensively. Coach Williamson was talking about the change in their defensive alignment, putting Monty in the middle of that front 4, running that 5-0 defensive set, which gives the linebackers like Gore and Bethel a lot of responsibility, and they certainly stepped up to it.
Jones fakes the handoff, looking for running room around the left side. Monty Stanley gets a hold of him and doesn't let him go, but I think that's going to be a face mask penalty. And Jay, I believe the West Brunswick coaches are saying that Stanley had him by the shoulder pad, and it is going to be a face mask penalty. Boy, Jay, it's hard to tell from here. I certainly couldn't see it, but the Trojans are disputing this call.
Yeah, the official already gave the face mask penalty sign, and there you see it again. So it's going to go against West. Take off a good defensive charge and stopping Josh Jones for a loss, and it's going to turn into a gain for Hoggard.
Now, Jay, it was a face mask of the 5-yard variety, so much better than the personal foul that would have given Hoggard a first down. We will replay third down, and that's going to be a 3rd and 12 situation from the 17-yard line of the Trojans. Jones in the shotgun, got a receiver coming in motion, stops in the backfield, gonna be an option play, pitch out to the right to Hoggard's number 31.
That's
John Bennett gets the option pitch, break tackles near the West Brunswick 5-yard line, and on a 3rd and 12 play, Hoggard runs the option to perfection, beautifully executed by Josh Jones, pitches it to Bennett, who scampers across the goal line for a Hoggard touchdown, and with 3:10 left in the 3rd period, Vikings 37, Trojans 7.
Boy, first time they've run anything like that this evening, and it looked like they
nice little wrinkle.
Yeah, been running it all night long as well as they did.
Kim on for the extra point attempt, beautiful snap, perfect hold over the flagpoles near the field house, and the extra point is good.
The kick is good.
Hoggard 38, West Brunswick 7 on your ATMC Game of the Week. And a reminder to all of our viewers to stop what you're doing at lunchtime tomorrow. Take an hour out of your workday and visit the Doghouse Grill 2 for lunch. The Doghouse Grill 2 is your neighborhood hotspot, serving breakfast all day, plus delicious handmade burgers that I've enjoyed, deli sandwiches, gourmet Red Barn coffee that Jay's enjoyed, and dessert to satisfy your sweet tooth. Open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. The Doghouse Grill 2 on Beach Drive in Ocean Isle Beach.
I'll tell you what, that place, it's good food, it's good people, it's just a good place to go and enjoy a meal. So we're really lucky that the Doghouse and everybody else that is kind enough from the business community to help support high school athletics here in Brunswick County. We're very appreciative of their help.
Boy, Jay, the day we were there shooting the commercial for ATMC TV, I felt like royalty. They treated us, they literally treated us so well. I mean, we're nobodies, don't get me wrong, we're nobodies, but they rolled out the red carpet for us.
They did, they really did.
That's Medford on the kick return, looking for running room. He's breaking a slew of tackles over there across the 15-yard line. He's dropped down at about the 19 or 20. So 17 yards on the return by Medford, his first kick return of the night.
Trojans take over.
Jay, got another commercial airing right about now. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, listen, I've seen it, and there are a couple of new stars born in Brunswick County. One is a young man named Huck Hickman, and how lucky are we that he looks like his mother instead of his father. And in addition to Huck, the debut of Rascal the Wonder Dog.
Rascal the Wonder Dog. Yeah. Let me tell you, if there's a prettier dog in Brunswick County, I want to see him. Rascal is a star, a stud.
He is. Rascal the Wonder Dog, Barbara and Howard Barnum's third child. But Rascal's great, and Huck was too.
Yeah, Jay, I got another quick story. I know all of you are really excited, but I send a link to the commercial to my father, and you know, I'm thinking, man, his grandson's in his first commercial. This is gonna be great. He's gonna be so excited. The first thing he says to me is, "Beautiful dog." Rascal's still in all of Huck's spotlight, man.
Oh my gosh.
Bethel loses 3 yards on the carry. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 13 for the Trojans.
Yogi was right. Rascal is a pretty dog, but that. Nathan Evers was saying that Rascal is the supervisor, and I think Nathan might be
Number
right.
42, would you try definitely your ball carrier?
Jakari Bethel having a tough time getting going here. West offensively on this series just not able to do anything, so they're going to punt it away. To Hoggard with around a minute to go in the third quarter in a 38-7 Hoggard lead.
Yeah, Jay, I got really tickled by something Aaron Varnum said after the shoot. Big time punt from McDowell, fielded at the 38-yard line. Pipkin calls for the fair catch. That's a 45-yard punt there by McDowell.
It's about as well as Owen has punted all year.
Yeah, best night punting.
Unfortunately, he's had a lot of practice right tonight. He's really taking advantage of those opportunities.
Jay, back to what I was saying there. Aaron says that, two general rules, in production to live by are never work with babies or dogs, and he went with the 1-2 punch in that commercial. He said, throw the rules out the window, bring me Huck, let's take Rascal, and he got a winner. I got to say, Rascal did better than Huck.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I think they were equal. Clearly, you and I were dragging everything down as we normally do.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what we do best.
That's right.
Oh, Scavone with the inside handoff makes a beautiful run out to the Hoggard 49, or maybe midfield. That's the first time we've seen Scavone in a ball-carrying capacity out of the backfield.
Yeah, and I wonder now if Coach Underwood will, pretty content with a 31-point lead with just under a minute to go in the third quarter. Maybe he's going to keep it on the ground and show off that pretty fine running attack they have. Scavone that time the beneficiary of some good blocking and picked up a first down.
And Jay, I think to our viewers, I believe the running clock rule would take effect in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Hoggard runs the same play, but this time the same look, but this time it's an inside handoff. I couldn't tell who that was tackled. I believe that may have been Bennett again. That was, no, 34, Lloyd Giroux there on the carry. Was it? I thought it was 34, but now it's looking like it was 14.
I think it was 14.
Evan Manning, the fullback. Yeah. Nevertheless, a big game for the Vikings all the way down to the 36-yard line of the Trojans. So Scavone picks up 12 yards on first down, and then Manning picks up 14 yards on 1st and 10 from the 50. So Hoggard picking up chunks of yardage here in the end of the third quarter.
To watch them play Temple tomorrow.
So timeout taken, I guess, with 2.5 seconds. Now the officials are saying no timeout, run the clock. So
yeah, Jay, that's going to be the end of the third quarter on your ATMC Game of the Week. Had a real treat for you. Youth football night at MH Rourke Stadium. And after 3 quarters of play, Hoggard 38, West Brunswick 7.
If you've driven down Highway 17 in Winnebago lately and noticed this big golden chicken and huge red barn, you've probably wondered to yourself, what is that? Well, it's Go Chicken Coop, a brand new fall attraction right here in Brunswick County. The brainchild of Southport developer Ed Burnett, Go Chicken Coop is a fun fall attraction for kids and parents alike, offering hay rides, a corn maze, and fall-themed field trips. Megan Spivey and Meg Warwick are part of the Coop Troop that helped Ed make his lifelong dream of owning his own farm a reality.
Ed, he grew up on a potato farm in New York, and he actually wanted to start a farm like what he grew up in. So he started this pumpkin farm. Basically, it used to be a soybean farm. About a year ago, Ed and I started coming up with little ideas. He brought me this portfolio, and he had pictures of all these different farms that had all these little attractions, and he had this piece of land and he wanted to bring something like this here. About March, we decided to start putting it in action, and like I said, this was a soybean farm, and he started to take out the soybeans, and we planted our own pumpkins, and we had a local farmer plant our corn, and just started clearing all of this space out to develop Go Chicken Coop.
So it turns into a plant next.
Meg Warwick organizes the field trips for Go Chicken Coop.
We're focusing on elementary aged students right now. What they do when they come out here, they have access to our corn maze, our hayride, all the games we have out here. And in addition to just having fun and playing games, we teach them about the life cycle of a pumpkin, as well as how to start your own pumpkin patch. And then we'll end their lesson with a little potting exercise. We've got some different herbs that we'll teach them how to plant, and then they'll get to take that home with them.
Ready, set, go.
So the owner, Ed Burnett, put together a little competition for the welding class at BCC. They each created a metal farm animal, and he decided 2 winners out of that. And the 2 winners received their tuition for that semester paid. So we opened up September 16th this year. It was our first season. So far the response has been really good. We've had a big turnout. Our opening day, we had about 500 plus people come out. Everybody seemed to have quite a lot of fun. We just kind of want to add a little bit of stuff every single year. We want to keep growing. And as we're getting requests, we want to consider them and see if we can make this place the best it can be and just continue to grow into the future.
We made it! We made it!
Go Chicken Coop is open to the public Saturday from 10 to 5 and on Sundays from 12 to 5. You can find out more at gochickencoop.com, and it's located at 7 Bell Swamp Connection in Winnebago. For Brunswick Biz, I'm Nathan Evers.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.
We'd like to thank J.P. Russ & Son. Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. Paving, grading, clearing, drainage, and much more. They'll haul any material, even rock. Give them a call at 754-6023.
$243 is on the line, plus 4 tickets to ECU versus Temple. We're going to let
That handoff is around the right side.
And Lindsey Smith picked the winning tickets.
The ball carrier is brought down. That was number 8, Scavone, on the carry. No gain on the play, brought down at the line of scrimmage, which is the West Brunswick 36-yard line.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the winning ticket is number 547765. 547765. Come on up and claim your prize. You have 6 minutes.
That handoff goes to Marshall, looking for room in the teeth of the West Brunswick defense. Jay's still on his feet. He escaped the grasp of Big Monty Stanley, and he got down to about the 32-yard line for a gain of 4. Jay, we got a winner for the big 50-50 ticket, and it's a winner I know, Miss McRaney.
Well, there you go, Sam. The tickets are going to be well used.
Boy, Josh Jones takes off, and he's across. Oh, looks like it's going to be close there. I couldn't see the marker down. Going to be very close to a first down. Looks like he was ruled out at about the 28. No? Oh, I take that back, at the 24-yard line. So he picks up 8 yards on 3rd and 6 for a first down.
Jones kind of making chicken soup out of chicken feathers that time, Sam. And, we talk a lot about Josh's ability to throw the football, and why not? He does an excellent job.
Our winner tonight of the 50-50 raffle ticket was Miss Diane McRaney.
Run the football.
Miss McDowell, she's coming your way.
A couple times tonight, including once for.
She said she was going to donate $50 to Coach Caraway.
Big Russ Gore in on the tackle. Boy, a host of Trojans there, including number 61, Timmy Sellers, in on that tackle. They stop Marshall for a minimal gain. We'll give them 1 on the play to the West Brunswick 20, no, loss of 1 there to the West Brunswick 25. The clock has hit the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes left in this game. Hoggard 38, West Brunswick 7 on your ATMC Game of the Week, ATMC TV Game of the Week. Owen McDowell hit Nasir Price for a 33-yard touchdown for the only score for the Trojans. Jones looking for someone to throw to, looking for some running room. He's brought down. Heck of an effort there by number 40, Hunter Nickel. He trips Jones up inside the 25-yard line, holds him to about a 2 or 3 yard gain to bring up yet another 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, good effort that time by Hunter to chase down Josh Jones. Jones, a big kid, 6'3", 210 pounds. He's certainly got that college quarterback size that you want. We were talking about where would Josh Jones play next year, at what level. I don't know. He's throwing some really Division I-like passes here this evening, Sam. I don't know where a guy like that's going to end up. But wherever he does, I think that school's going to be pretty lucky.
Well, he's a really nice player. Probably one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in 2 years of doing these ATMC games. Scavone is open past the first down marker. Clariday was the closest man in coverage, but a nice throw. Jay, you talk a lot about how hard that throw is for a right-handed quarterback to roll left, turn your shoulders, and fire to a receiver. And boy, Jones, textbook right there, fires an accurate pass to Scavone, who catches it at the West Brunswick 13-yard line for a first down.
I think so, Sam, because, you know, it is physically, it's just kind of awkward to do, but Jones that time not only showed accuracy, but showed touch, you know, and we know the kid can throw a ball through a brick wall, but that time he really just kind of laid it in there correctly. Nice soft catchable pass.
Jones under center. He tosses it to Marshall around the right side. He's got some running room. Easton Simmons and Jones Bay in on the tackle. Marshall for 3 yards to the West Brunswick 10.
Well, Easton Simmons is
with
his
the
name a lot
tackle.
here in the second half tonight.
Brings up a 2nd down.
Jay, about the most we've seen him on defense this year.
He's played well here in quarters 3 and 4 against Hoggard.
I tell you, Easton Simmons been a big contributor, you know, to the success this West Brunswick team has had over the last 2 years. One of the best blocking wide receivers in this West Brunswick program. You know, he takes a kid who takes a lot of pride in doing the little things well. And, you know, if you're going to be a wide receiver on this West Brunswick rushing team, you better block. That handoff goes to Marshall around the right side. He's plowing over defenders across the 5 to the 3 or 4 yard line. Going to be awfully close to a Hoggard first down. They ruled him down at the 4 yard line. That's 6 yards by Marshall. Going to bring up a 3rd and 1.
Kenneth Marshall has rushed the ball quite a bit more tonight than his partner, Lloyd Giroux. Both those guys were the leading rushers, respectively, for Hoggard coming into the game this evening. Giroux's ran the ball a few times, but mostly tonight it has been Marshall carrying the ball on the ground.
6 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the game. Hoggard looking to add to its 31-point lead. The Vikings lead 38-7. Here at M.H. Rourke Stadium in Charlotte, facing a 3rd and 1. Jones fakes the handoff, looking for someone to throw to. He's got a man. It's none other, number 8, Anthony Scavone, for a 4-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and 1. And with 6:32 left in the contest, the Vikings now lead 44-7.
4th touchdown pass of the night, I think,
and 1 on the ground
for Jones. Yeah, plus the running touchdown that he scored. So big night for Josh Jones and big night for the Hoggard Vikings.
Boy, Jay, that's about 300 receiving yards Scavone has in the last 2 weeks. He had about 150 against Laney last week and has racked up close to 150 here tonight. Kim's extra point attempt is up. He booms it through the uprights. 6 for 6 on point after tries tonight, and he made a 22-yard field goal. So with 6:32 left in the game, it's Hoggard 45, West Brunswick 7, despite the scoreboard showing something different.
Well, you got to credit the scoreboard operator because right now he's got West up 45-30.
What a comeback!
We missed a couple of those scores, but
it is 45-7, despite what the scoreboard says there. And that will give us a great opportunity to thank Community Finance of South Carolina for its sponsorship of tonight's Game of the Week. Community Finance offers personal and title loans with the most competitive rates in the area. Located right across the border in beautiful Little River, South Carolina, Community Finance provides quick approval so you can have cash in minutes. Visit them online at cfscloans.com. Welp, take it away, partner.
Well, let's watch Kent, who has a really strong leg and has been able to put this ball in the end zone for touchbacks just about every time tonight.
Got one of ATMC's finest, Matt Abbott, in the house tonight in his Charlotte Pirates gear. Really nice return there by the Trojans. Wish we had the monitor. Okay, I can see it's number 5, Khalil Bland, across the 30 to around the 35-yard line. I believe PA man Jimmy Carraway's eyes are tricking him there. That was definitely number 5, Khalil Bland. Come to ATMC for your most accurate calls. Bland was upended around the 33-yard line where the Trojans will take over 1st and 10. Big Jakari Bethel looking for running room around the left side. He is across the 35 to the 36, and about 8 Hoggard players bring him down. Oh, that's going to be a late hit on number, hard to tell who the late hit was on. West Brunswick's Tim Sellers was in the general vicinity, and what would have been about a 4-yard gain on 1st down is now going to put West Brunswick behind the chains yet again, and what looked like a late hit personal foul against the Trojans.
Yeah, you know, just when you think things can't get bad or get worse, they do for the Trojans picking up the call that time. So walk it off.
Jay, sorry to interrupt you, partner. Real important for these kids. You know, you're down by 38 points. There's 6 minutes, 13 seconds left. You got to keep your head in situations like this. Whatever you do, you got to remember who you are, where you came from. Don't embarrass the program. Yes, it's got it out of hand here, but you know, you still, all the goals this West Brunswick team has are still in front of them. You still got Topsail left on the schedule. You still got South Brunswick, still got New Hanover. You can beat 2 or 3 of those teams, and you're going to make the state playoffs. You know, yes, it's bad here tonight, of course, but season's far from over.
Hoggard's going to beat a lot more teams before this season's over, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of those whoopings don't happen in the state tournament because they're that kind of team, Sam. So, yeah, you like to win them, of course, but I think in this game it's just as important as to how you play. And West, 5 minutes to go here, 6 minutes to go. They want to continue to try to play good, solid, fundamental football and forget about what the score is right now.
That's Bethel with a nice hard run across the 20-yard line, so he picks up a nice chunk of what West Brunswick lost on consecutive penalties, including a personal foul and false start.
I mean, Sam, when you think Bethel tonight, when he had that, 50-yard run, and he's probably gained another 25 or 30 yards in various carries here this season. He's had a pretty good night rushing the football against the team that the past 2 games has only given up 66 yards a game rushing to the entire team. So Jakari Bethel's probably exceeded that.
That Price catches the slant pass. He's still on his feet across the 40-yard line to the 41, and that's going to set up a manageable 4th down situation. That was a 17-yard completion from McDowell to Price.
Sean Price, who had the long touchdown.
Price is right.
Comes up with a nice slant pattern that time and a good reception, a well-thrown ball by Owen McDowell.
Jay, I need to apologize to Nashawn on air. I called him Nasir a couple times earlier in the game. It's Nashawn. My apologies to Nashawn and his family. as Jakari Bethel gets the carry on 4th and 3, and he is stopped nowhere near the line to gain. Maybe got to the 42, but it's going to be a turnover on downs with 4:24 left on your ATMC TV Game of the Week.
We'll see now if Hoggard maybe has a backup quarterback. Because
yeah, Jay, I believe he's called a touchdown pass earlier. I think it was 15, Chris Towdle. He caught a touchdown pass. He's also listed as the backup quarterback.
So they're still showing 4th down for West.
Jay, I believe they're just going to measure it. That was definitely the 4th down play. I just think they're going to measure it to see if West Brunswick converted. It looks, by my eye, to be well short of the marker. But it does give us time to thank the Brunswick Beacon, your community newspaper since 1962. The Brunswick Beacon is your source for local news, sports, and features. Subscribe to the Beacon today. Call 910-754-6890 or visit brunswickbeacon.com.
Your eyes are still working pretty good, Sam, because that one wasn't even close.
Yeah, Jay, I had West Brunswick had to get to the 44 for the line to gain, and the ball was marked at the 42, so not sure I've seen a measurement on a ball that was 2 yards short of the line to gain, but nevertheless, there's 4:24 left here from MH Rourke Stadium, and Hoggard, boy, this is a good Hoggard team partner.
Yep, they are every bit what people have been saying about them through the first 6 games of the season. I don't think they've really been pressed by anyone, and certainly maybe the first quarter and a half tonight West hung with them, but after that it's been all Hoggard. It appears that maybe Pipkin.
Yeah, Pipkin
is the quarterback now, number 3.
That handoff is to number 31. That was Bennett, who we saw on the 17-yard touchdown run in the 3rd quarter. Bennett is stopped for, we'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. Jay, one thing that is interesting to note is look at the number of players, just the number of players Hoggard has in comparison to West Brunswick. Hoggard's got like 60 kids over there, in West Brunswick, you know, when they're either on offense or defense, they only have about 20 on the bench.
Yeah, Hoggard, it took 3 pages to print off their roster.
Yeah, they're not interested in saving paper, man.
Oh, man, they got a program.
That's right. This is not just a good team. This is a great program. You're right. Well said.
And they, as is year in, year out, it started, you know when it started? Hoggard football fortune started when they had a linebacker by the name of
Aaron Varnum.
Hitman Varnum. Right, way back in the day. And
boy, Aaron was on some great teams at Hoggard, and he contributed to those great teams. I don't mean to sell him short. Aaron was a good high school player in the early 2000s. Hey, I was on the receiving end on a couple of those butt whoopings.
Yeah, and they've been good for a long, long time, and certainly this year's edition makes it look
Jay,
they're going to have to back up to any game at all.
Jay, impossible to do a Hoggard football broadcast without mentioning the architect of this great program, one Scott Braswell, who retired from Hoggard, now a high school football coach in the state of Virginia at a private school. When Coach Braswell got the job at Hoggard in the mid-90s, Yogi Hickman's West Brunswick Trojans put a thumping on Hoggard early in Coach Braswell's tenure, and it wasn't a year or two later where Hoggard came to Charlotte and beat West Brunswick. And at the time, you know, the roles were reversed. West Brunswick was the barometer for area teams. You know, you wanted to get your program to where West Brunswick was, and now, you know, fast forward 20, 22 years, and it's Hoggard, you know, is the standard for which every other team in this area strives for.
Well, I'm guessing, and it's just, you know, merely a guess, but the Mid-Eastern Conference title might very well be settled between this Hoggard team and New Hanover, which is a pretty good team too. They've got an outstanding quarterback, and so that should be one heck of a game. But,
boy, Jay, there's bound to be some points in that one. Blake Walston leads New Hanover, Josh Jones leading Hoggard. Talk about some fireworks, as if you need to add, you know, anything to that rivalry game. Boy, those two teams have went at it for a long time.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is it Walston?
Timeout taken by Hoggard.
at New Hanover's brother plays at
Tight end at North Carolina. Yeah, Blake's brother Garrett, tight end at North Carolina.
So pretty good football bloodlines there. But
We remind the ladies and gentlemen
a
that
lot of football
Monday,
left to be played, not necessarily this season,
excuse me,
but in this 2017 season.
Thursday is our women's varsity tennis
You were
match,
saying earlier,
conference tournament at the Ocean
loss for
Beach
West
Tennis
tonight.
Courts.
But
Starts at 9
ahead
a.m.
of them.
and then at 6:30 p.m. This is possibly the battle for the 3A Conference Championship. West Brunswick takes on New Hanover.
Reminder to our viewers, we will have another Brunswick County rivalry game next week, partner, as the Scorpions of North Brunswick travel to Boiling Spring Lakes for a matchup between 3A foes, North Brunswick and South Brunswick. That'll be a lot of fun.
It should be. Both those teams, I think, are improved. And as you see, Will Morton's punt that time, and it looks like
Flag on the field.
check it. That was Jeremiah Kidd who punted the ball. And there's a flag down in the area roughing the kicker against West. So that's going to be a first down, and Hoggard's going to maintain possession. Yeah, the North-South game next week. Looking forward to that. South, a much improved team, and North has had their moments. A lot depends on their young sophomore quarterback, if he's going to be able to play.
Wow. Jay, not sure what's going on down there on the West Brunswick sideline, but it wasn't pretty. I can tell you that much. So Hoggard gets, North Brunswick searching for its first win, to your point, Jay, of the 2017 season. Jay, South Brunswick knocked off 4A Ashley last week in a 3-0 overtime game. Declan Hall of South Brunswick knocked in a game-winning field goal on the first possession of overtime to give the Cougars a 3-0 win, and that got them to 500 in the Eastern Conference at 1-1.
Well, we saw them match up way back. It seems like so long ago at the Jamboree, and South looked really good that night. And North has had a kind of a rough introduction to the conference this year, but you know, when the rivalry schools get together, anything can happen, and I'm sure that will be the case next week in Boiling Springs.
Hey, you not gonna wait till the next one? You gonna wait till the next one? I'm gonna speak to
So Hoggard just letting time run off the clock. Under 40 seconds to go here in this game. They'll probably take a knee and get out of Charlotte with a real nice 45-7 win.
And Jay Hoggard takes a knee on it. The Vikings are lining up at midfield. They were, based on the play clock, they were going to have to take one more snap, but the referees look like they have called it a game and had enough. And from MH Rourke Stadium on Youth Football Night here in Charlotte, the Hoggard Vikings have knocked off the West Brunswick Trojans 45-7. Jay, final thoughts?
Listen, this is just a game that clearly Hoggard showed that they were a better football team than West started off giving them a pretty good game the first quarter and a half, but then when those passes started falling, everything started rolling, and it just rolled downhill quickly for West. So good win for Hoggard here this evening, and West will have to try to find some positives from it and use those as they continue their season.
And a reminder to our viewers, you can catch the ATMC TV Games of the Week on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. from MH Rourke Stadium in Charlotte. It's Hoggard 45, West Brunswick 7. We'll see you next week on ATMC TV. Good night.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.